so I'm gunning for the money. Money in the bank. Coming with a dank. Skrilling in the tank. Rolling with the gang. You sit and I on the sideline tripping. I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin. Yeah. I'm okay.
What up, and welcome to Woodward Heavyweights Live on Sports.com. I'm Eazy, joined by Spimo Rax.
What up, though?
Young Chris, Nicholas Kohloff, a.k.a. Detroit Mario. You got two nicknames going.
A.k.a. Young Cup.
Korean Jesus and Jesus. Jesus feels wild to say.
I don't like Jesus.
I'm
it
not
makes me
comfortable saying
uncomfortable.
that.
Well, shalom to all.
Shabbat shalom.
What are you more comfortable with, I guess, being called?
I mean, it's kind of just whatever. They're both, it is what it is. I don't know if either of them are better.
Which one are you more proud to tell your friends?
I don't know. I think my friends like Jesus better.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus makes sense.
Korean Jesus is funnier, though.
Korean Jesus is funnier.
Yeah, they did think the Korean Jesus bit on the first night of the draft was funny.
Because he was fucking cooked. He was ripping the Benjamin all day. Hugs on the mic.
Yeah, I thought I was done for the day, and then Nick's like, "Hey, yeah, get over." Or you guys were like, "Yeah, let's get over it." I just hop on the mic, and they're like, "Korean Jesus," and I was like, "Oh, well, here we go."
Yeah.
It just brings. I like it because it just brings up so many more questions. Like, wait, are you Korean? And then also because you're not Korean though, because you're introduced as that. I feel like people, they can see it.
Yeah.
Like they'll force themselves. It's like a placebo.
Doing some Korean shit.
Yeah.
Too busy dealing with Korean shit.
You should learn how to speak some Korean shit.
I'm terrible at learning languages. I wish.
Yeah, I don't. French is mine. Spencer's was Chinese.
Yep.
You learned Chinese? What?
I took 2 years of Chinese in high school.
Really?
Oh.
Where did that decision come from?
It was either Chinese
Honestly,
or Spanish.
if someone told me you were Chinese.
If someone told you I was Chinese,
Yeah.
I do have naturally squinty eyes.
Me too.
But I think it's just because I'm fat. But yeah, I took 2 years of Chinese in high school. It was either Chinese or Spanish.
How'd that work out?
It was fun.
Can you still speak some like Chinese?
Wobujadao.
Wobujadao.
You watch your mouth, buddy.
Dai Ping Mong. That's Wojian Qian Hen Hao.
Speaking of other nations, this is wild. I almost feel like it's like not even real, but it is. It was on the news. Allegedly, Drake's security guard got shot outside of his home last night. There's no. I mean, I know you're working out
He's
there
not
today,
like
Chris.
us.
But like,
He's not like
do
us.
you know what the hell's going on with that?
No, so I actually haven't gotten the chance to dive into this yet. So but I've seen also there's been there's one of Drake's like own stores got somebody spray paint on it. They not like us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's correlated to the beef at all. For all we know, it could be two totally separate things. But at the end of the day, yeah, I have no information on that. I'm gonna look that up and see what I can get to about it. But hopefully everybody's all
Yeah,
right.
apparently there was a drive-by shooting, and one of his security guards got hit and was injured. And I saw, the meme of Shane Gillis when he's like, I don't know what the skit is, but he's got the gun. And he's like, it's like Drake when he hears "They Not Like Us" outside his house at 2 a.m. People are saying it was a setup, that they're trying to do that to get the song taken down. It's just. They not like us.
I think it'd be more for like.
They're not like us.
I don't even know.
You thought the Bay was gonna let you disrespect Pac? I'm just saying. Drake opened up a can of worms that he is not ready for.
That's the wild part about putting someone's house out there, because I could also see being like a Rogue fan.
Fuck 'em.
But actually, no, because someone actually getting shot is kind of wild.
Certified peta.
But there being no other details other than like the type of car, or like I don't know, it's just weird that nothing else came out other than like. That's what's sketchy. It reminds me of like when Rick Ross got shot up. I was like, there's no.
And it's the Canadian news, like, oh, they came over here and shot up Drake's house, eh? Yeah,
They threw rocks at the door.
They're drive-by on a moose, and they're squirting maple syrup out of super soakers, eh? I don't give a shit about Canada.
This time he's trolling you. So Drake won because Kendrick lied about Drake having a daughter.
That we know of.
So you can confirm it.
I mean, at this point, like somebody with Drake's money and power can get away with things like that. So I'm just saying, both sides got to prove whether it's false or true.
Yeah, and I mean, as evidence speaks, Drake has already hid one child. So
yeah.
Oh, I meant to send this video too, but I didn't.
They're not like us.
You see, and I haven't even confirmed if this was the Fox or not. Someone said it might have been a Fillmore, but Gunna was here last night.
Yeah.
You see the
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens with Fox. If you've ever been to a concert at the Fox Theater, that upper deck, sketchy is all get out. Like it shakes.
Get out.
It rocks.
That thing was moving.
Yeah,
in
it was-
that video, that was unreal.
I remember I saw
I guess
I saw the coloring book tour at the Fox.
You see the coloring book tour?
Yeah,
That's Chance, right?
Chance. Yeah.
Easy's favorite rapper.
Chance 3 coloring book tour. I saw it at the Fox, and yeah, you turn around and you looked at it was a problem. We don't want no problems,
Oh,
problems,
shit.
baby. And
Hoppin'.
it, bro,
Whoa.
shit was fucking rocking like that. I was like, that's sketchy.
Well, there was Baby Keem like a year or two ago. Remember at
Yeah.
St. Andrews Hall, different venue, but there was like cracks in the floor from the mosh pit.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
I mean,
Baby
it's
Keem's
just
lit like
old
that.
infrastructure in Detroit that needs to be renovated. I'm
DNC.
sure they need to do it soon before something terrible happens.
DNC, ENT, Easy. Everyone knew what Drake's house looked like, but yeah, but they didn't know where it was. They didn't know the address.
Yeah.
They know the aerial view. and
also,
access
also
points.
to be fair, Kanye was the one that first put out like the whole ass address.
Yeah.
That's
And did
fair.
you see that Google Maps? If you go on Google Maps, it says it's Kendrick's house.
It says
it says a
Kendrick's.
bunch
Yeah,
of
it says Kendrick's dog.
A minor guitar lessons.
Yeah.
It's like a bunch of
Awesome shit.
bunch of shit like that. By the way, too, I guess allegedly those are like really hard to get off too. Those are really hard to remove from Google, especially from like verified like reviewers and whatnot.
Silky Johnson says he was at that concert too. That was his first concert. That was a good concert.
That's your first concert.
That was a great concert. Me, my boy Mirsad.
Oh, you're talking about the coloring book
The
one.
coloring book one. Yeah.
My first concert was J. Cole.
My first concert was Bruce Springsteen at the Palace.
Mine was LMFAO at the Palace. I was like
That's
fucking
hilarious.
10 or some shit.
What did they just play shots 20 times?
Shots, sexy, you know
Yes,
it. Party
yes.
rock anthem.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry for party rocking. They were getting lit. I was having a great time.
Yes.
I was over there, you know,
I'll
just
run
little ass
these
kid, just
hoes like
fucking,
they know I
you know,
got that
gyrating like a
old
dumbass.
Yeah, I saw Mayor Hawthorne in Ann Arbor. That was my first concert technically, but it was a smaller venue. And then my first like big ass concert was Bruce Springsteen at the Palace.
My first big ass concert was because J. Cole like had just dropped the album, or at least no, I think he just dropped the album, his first one. But then after that, I went to Kendrick at Shane Park, and then did it again. Is Shane Park the one by Oakland?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I saw Kendrick somewhere else too. I forgot where. But we moved up right to the stage, and then what's his DJ's name? Ali.
Yeah.
Ali tossed us a couple shirts, and then afterwards, Steve Aoki came on. I didn't even know who he was. I think I told you this
Was he
story before.
caking people?
Did he hit you in
Yeah,
the cake?
so these
Bro.
girls were climbing on the stage, so I started climbing on too. And the security guard was like, "The only way I'm gonna let you stay up here is if you help us get some more girls up here." I was like, "Deal." And then so I'm helping them carry the girls, whatever. And then they brought up this like giant fucking
Cake.
no, it was like a tube. It was like something you go water rafting in.
Oh yeah.
And then we start throwing the girls in it, and then we start throwing cakes at them. it was a hell of a time. I didn't even know who this guy was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not a
great
Steve
time.
Aoki guy. I went to
He was the main event for that one too. That was like when Kendrick was like coming up.
yeah.
Like he wasn't even like the main attraction.
Wiz Khalifa
pissed off about
and ASAP Rocky at Pine Knob. That was hype.
Pine Knob ZT, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I was. I don't know if I was at that one, but I saw Wiz Khalifa there as well. Do you guys?
Yeah, I was at
Do you guys
that one.
remember Rig Simpson's oil? Like RSO.
Yeah.
Like it's like dispensary.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like high grade
High
stuff for
grade
back then.
marijuana, yeah.
My buddy took one and he literally was puking in line for the concert. Literally
Oh.
stayed in the car the whole time. Did not get in. It was like one of those like crazy ass experiences. Like he was not ready for that, and luckily he was okay because if you're in a car for that long in the summer, like it gets a little worrisome. So thank God he was okay.
Rolling Loud was the most lit that I've been through when it was.
That sounds fun.
There was everybody you could
just
ever
throw it up
want to
whenever,
see.
please.
It was Kendrick, Future, Travis Scott, Lil Wayne, Migos, Lil Uzi Vert, Joey Badass,
up?
Denzel Curry. There's just tons of people. But yeah, this is the video of
You want
Fox
volume or
Theater
no?
upper deck shaking.
So
No,
it was
no
the Fox
volume.
and not the
That's the Fox,
yeah.
yeah.
That's what I
Oh
figured.
my god.
Yeah, that's it's sketchy, man. That's how the Fox is though.
Very terrifying. It's also like wild too. Is for Gunna.
Gunna's
that-
got
that
hits,
song is
man.
hard.
Gunna's got
And
hits.
it's wild that like
What you
the rap
mean?
community
No,
and
Gunna's
college
that
are so
guy.
much like don't stitch, no stitch, and then obviously 6ix9ine is obviously not popping anymore, music at least. But like for Gunna to come out and just
Well,
So
well,
bigger
the
than ever.
difference is
I think he's even
6ix9ine
bigger now.
was never good. Like he was
fair.
he was never good. Gunna was actually good. So like that's how he was able to survive the stitching allegation. I do have, I think, in this room just the worst first concert because I didn't go to concerts till I was like 14 or 15. So my first concert was a Logic concert. Just a tough L. But the best concert
Who can relate? Woo!
The best concert I ever unfortunately it was before that smash hit, Spencer. but the best concert I ever went to, I got to see Damn with Kendrick when he brought out Cole.
Yeah.
That was a historic moment.
What I regret most, my boys at the time, there's $300, which is still a lot of money, but they paid to go general admission for Kanye and Kendrick back in I want to say 2016.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Yeezus tour.
Yeah, and they were showing me the videos, and Kanye, that's one show I don't know about now, but I won't pass on next time just because it's more than music. It's like the theatrics and everything. He came out like a volcano and shit like that, and obviously that's when he's wearing the whole disco ball mask and shit.
That's what Travis Scott was like. It was during the Birds in the Trap. When that was out.
Yeah.
And so he came out in this giant fucking mechanical bird at Rolling Loud and
Oh yeah, he was that show too.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys go to Astroworld in Detroit?
No, my boys went to Astroworld.
Yeah, I went to Astroworld. That was sick.
Yeah.
He had a giant animatronic spaceman that was walking up in the crowd, and he was flying in the air at one point. That was sick. But you guys are gonna be a hater with this next one. I went to Lala last year, and I'm a big into EDM music. Yeah. So I actually passed on Kendrick to go see my favorite EDM artist, Subtronics.
That's such an L.
So my girlfriend really wanted to go, but that Subtronics show is one of the best shows I've ever been to.
At Rolling Loud,
complain.
At Rolling Loud, my boys went to go get ready because there was 2 stages. So they went to the one stage to get good spots for Travis Scott. And I stayed at the other stage and watched Future, Migos, and Lil Uzi Vert, and then went over. I was like, dude, you guys just missed 3 fucking... Shit. And that was Dirty Sprite 2 Future, Culture 2 Migos, and Uzi versus the World. So it's primes of these guys. It was just I just fucked your bitch in some Gucci flip-flops. In the middle of Miami in the summer, bro, it was going nuts. It do not matter. Turn to a savage. Pockets got fatter. She call me daddy. It was
really fuck with that group is,
that's when Lil Uzi Vert jumped off that shipping container. That's what that video's from.
Oh, you there?
Yeah.
He fucked himself up, right?
No, he was fine. We caught him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You didn't catch him.
We caught him. Like I said, the crowd. I was part of the crowd. I wasn't anywhere near it, but we caught him. That was hype. That was hype. But the first concert I went to was Bruce Springsteen at the Palace. Put on a great show. The Boss. He was 70 years old, still doing stage dive, still doing guitar. Oh yeah, dude.
He stage dived at
70? Oh yeah, he was going hard.
He knew they had to catch him, otherwise
he'd break something.
Yeah.
But I was up there. I was with my mom and her boyfriend, and there was people behind us, and they're smoking, and she was like, "You smell that? That's what marijuana smells like." I was like, "Oh, all right." Yeah, I've never smelled that before. I'll be sure to avoid that smell from now on. But no, that was a hype concert. The Boss put on a great show.
I was at an unfortunate, but it was kind of a big concert. Was last year? Was it last year or 2 years ago now? I think it was last year when Carlos Santana passed out.
Yeah.
When he was performing with the Earth, Wind and Fire tour. That was an awesome show, but it was I think
scary.
20 minutes into his set.
I saw BB King and Buddy Guy at the Fox. That was a great show.
Legendary.
The Jimi Hendrix Experience. Zach Wilde was playing. It's a bunch of amazing guitarists. They play Jimi Hendrix songs.
Yeah.
And Zach Wilde, the lead guitarist for Black Sabbath. He's one of the best guitarists in the world. He was doing playing behind his head, playing with his tongue and shit. It was fucking sick.
That is dope. I don't know if he's ever came here or not, but Frank. I don't want to see Frank live.
Frank would be hype. That would be really hype. My bucket list is Eminem is
he's up there.
It's up there just because I've never seen him.
If he does one in Detroit, I think
that would be I probably wouldn't go just because I know the prices would be
if you
ridiculous.
Get hooked up or something.
But if I get a hookup,
yeah.
That would but Kanye is one that I really want to go see.
We'll do that together if it happens.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I seen him at Sunday service, but he wasn't really performing too much. It was more so the choir around him, but it was still lit.
I've seen Kendrick 4 or 5 times live. I've seen Big Sean a couple times.
Saw Big Sean. I saw Big Sean when he brought out
Tyler the Creator.
Kendrick.
Too.
Tyler's great. Yeah,
it's whatever he and 955 had going. We did the Big Show of the Joe.
Yeah,
where we brought.
Yeah, I saw that. It was Drake. It was Kendrick, Big Sean, Trey Songz, and J. Cole.
Oh, I know he did a couple of them. I must have been different because I know he brought Lil Wayne for sure.
Yeah, I went to the big show at the Joe. I went to was J. Cole, Kendrick, Big Sean, and Trey Songz.
Shout out to Big Sean for bringing those guys to the city. And speaking of big shows, we got a big one for you guys. We have One Bar. Vikings content creator will be joining us fresh off of our all NFC North offensive teams. We're also debuting our all NFC North defensive teams, and also Dos Dion will be on and more. But before then, Spinny, tell them about Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all that for just $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you're at, there's Planet Fitness close by, more than 50 in Metro Detroit, and thousands more throughout the world. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Are you tired of the same old Detroit sports merch? Head on over to woodwardsports.com. Click that shop tab. Get yourself some hoodies.
Bring your ass
tees,
merch here,
hats,
Woodward Sports
all
fan.
guaranteed
Bring
to
your ass
turn heads.
merch
Head
here,
on over
Woodward
to
Sports fan.
woodwardsports.com.
Merch.
Click that shop tab.
Merch.
Get yourself some brand new.
Merch.
Merch. Go buy it now, ASAP.
What up, and welcome back to World Heavyweights live at woodwardsports.com. I'm Eazy, joined by Spinmo Rex.
What up, though?
Chris, Nicholas Kohloff, a.k.a. Detroit Mario.
Let's
Smash
go.
that like button if you guys haven't already. Be a friend, tell a friend. Again, tease the big show. One Bar joining us. Dos Dion joining us. Our all NFC North defensive team. And I also admit that I was wrong at some point during the show. But before then,
About what? Tyler Boyd?
let me tell you right now.
I know it's not going to be about the Jared Goff stuff.
Damn sure. Goddamn right about that one. No, I was wrong. Ann Evans. You know, we had the beef.
Oh,
or
yeah.
not beef, but we had a conversation. He did discourse in our group chat 2 weeks back. This kid,
He's him, bro.
he's fucking insane.
He's like top 5 player in the NBA almost. Like if he continues playing like this all the playoffs, he is by far the best two-way player in the NBA. It's just awesome to watch him play at the level that he's playing at. They did that without Rudy Gobert last night. That was one of the best defensive performances in the past 10 years in the NBA. So all you guys saying the NBA doesn't care about defense or defense isn't in the NBA, you missed a clinical defensive performance by the Timberwolves, shutting down one of the most high-powered offenses in the NBA this year in the Denver Nuggets. And it was just awesome watching these guys on the perimeter, the length that they have on the perimeter with guys like Anthony Edwards, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jaden McDaniels. You've got Mike Conley, who's still got fast hands for his age, and then the length in the interior with guys like Naz Reid, obviously
yeah.
Rudy Gobert, who wasn't there yesterday, but still, and Karl Anthony Towns. It's just an insane combination when you can switch everything, because even your bigs are athletic. When Rudy Gobert's not on the floor and it's Naz Reid, they can switch 1 through 5. So it's just awesome to watch these guys play defense. It's fun. It's exciting. Jamal Murray was fucking heated. He was throwing towels.
I saw him
He was
throw his
throwing
heating pad.
heat pads at the refs. You got Mike Malone screaming in the face of refs. Like, it's just good basketball,
Fucking
fun to watch.
embarrassed at home.
Yes.
The
They had
Jokic brothers left early.
Anthony Edwards was getting MVP chance in Denver.
Dog,
In a
he has
playoff
that.
game.
He's got aura. Like everyone says it, and then like some people really do have it. The people they say about it, I feel like it's become like dog, where it's kind of used too much.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards has it. Every time the
does.
kid has the ball, I'm waiting for him to do something amazing. Even if he doesn't have the ball.
When he
I'm waiting for him to do
crossed
something
up,
amazing.
he was dribbling up on KCP, and Reggie Jackson went to try to steal from him. He did it quick between the legs, literally dropped Reggie Jackson to his knees. He was on his knees on the court, and Reggie like stood up and walked away. Ant pointed at him and kept dribbling. Like, dude, the guy is just, he's fun to watch play basketball.
Yeah.
He's the most exciting player to watch in the NBA right
I'm
now.
happy he's on the Eastern Conference.
And he's
We're
only
not even about to hate
22.
him.
Yeah, he's 22 years old.
Like, I was wrong there too. I not that Ant wouldn't get here eventually. I thought Ant would be this guy. I just didn't think it was going to happen at 22. I know everybody was coming in this season off of the Team USA stuff. This guy's going to be the guy, and he's going to have that Kevin Durant jump. And I'm like, he is only 22. Like, most of these guys really don't hit that level till 25. But he's there already, and that's scary because, you know, a player's prime is to their early 30s.
Yes.
So you're talking 10 years of this or better?
Yeah.
He's going to be a top 3 player in the NBA for a long time to come. It's going to be like him, Luka, and Wemby. When you talk about best player in the NBA after these old heads, like LeBron's getting, you know, issued out. Like, LeBron's still great, but we all know that he's finding his end. Same with Steph Curry. Same with Kevin Durant. Giannis is dealing with some injuries and stuff to kind of hurt his prime. It's Luka Doncic, it's Anthony Edwards, it's Wembanyama. Like, these are the guys. This is the next era of superstar in the NBA.
And I want to add Jokic to it because Jokic's game, he's going to be able to be good for a while.
Yeah.
Because it's not relying on athleticism at all. So he will still be good in his mid 30s. Like how Steph Curry is still good in his mid 30s, how Bron is still good in his mid 30s. Jokic should be that.
Yeah,
So,
no, Jokic. Yeah. Jokic is a superstar as well. You also like Jason Tatum is up there as well. He's kind of falling out of that top tier though. He's
Yes.
kind of falling into the second tier of
He's
star.
had so many opportunities to, like,
Snatch the throne.
yes.
And he hasn't.
Yeah.
And if Anthony Edwards does it this year, like, that's SGA is up there as well with like top tier. Like, the
So
dude's
much
one of the
talent.
best scorers in the NBA. He's top 3 in MVP voting this year. So NBA is in good hands, even losing some of the greatest superstars that have ever played the game.
It's cool too. Like, maybe we'll have his own, or we'll come to his own at least. But like you guys mentioned, like Ant only being 22, like his range gonna last a long time. And I feel like the way they're set up right now, the Timberwolves, even if Wemby does come into his, they're kind of set up to like slow that down
Yes.
with the 2 bigs they have. So I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I put money on them to win everything.
Yeah.
Win it all.
I don't blame you.
T-Wolves?
Yeah.
They're
Friends of the club.
like,
And I was thinking about doing it yesterday at like noon, and I just didn't get to it because I
Damn.
didn't want to do it on my work Wi-Fi. But
they very well could sweep the Nuggets. Like, this is not a good matchup for the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets are like 6.5. They go like 6.5 deep, like 7 deep, while the Timberwolves go 11 deep of guys that defend, play the entire court, and hustle. So, like, the Nuggets, if they want to win a game, they're going to have to be sprinting up and down the court at all times, and they don't have the athleticism or depth to do that for an entire basketball game against the Minnesota
low-key
Timberwolves.
do though. That's the crazy part. They're a deep team. I don't care what anybody says. Everyone says like KCP. I've always liked KCP. KCP has like the all-time record for 3 points made in an NBA final series.
Yeah.
He has a ring with them. I'm sorry, the Lakers has a ring with, like, he is a solid piece to have.
Yeah, he's like I said,
on your team.
they have a solid 5 or 6, but after that,
Even Reggie coming off the bench. I mean, they
Reggie's
were obviously
Reggie's
better last
not
year.
good. Like when
no
Jokic goes off the
bum.
court, they are one of the worst teams in the NBA. Like, efficiency wise,
Michael Porter Jr. is
offensive
good.
wise.
Aaron Gordon's
If
good.
Jokic isn't in the game, they are one of the worst teams in the NBA. And like it's tough because the deeper teams in the West are 1 through 10, while the Nuggets are like 1 through 6, 1 through 7 of guys that are actually bringing impacts.
Doesn't help that Jamal Murray's banged up too, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. to
And
what
he's just
severity,
getting
but-
absolutely clamped.
I mean,
he is.
we should have seen this coming when Jaden McDaniels did what he did to Booker in the last round, right?
Yeah.
Like, Booker
Yeah.
is Booker,
Yeah.
you know, and for him to do that, Booker had a terrible series.
So we got Devin Booker. So, well, we got Jaden McDaniels, and like he wasn't joking. Like Ant was being serious when he fucking said that, because this is a guy that will lock down your favorite player, and then you've got Anthony Edwards,
Who can still play defense?
who is a dog on defense. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, a dog on defense, and 2 fantastic shot blocking bigs in Naz Reid and Rudy Gobert on the back end. Kyle Anderson, another guy who's long and plays defense. Like, they're a problem, man.
They are. I didn't think their half court offense was going to be this good.
Yeah.
But you know what? I still can't count out Denver because Jokic's ability to just always get either a high percentage shot for himself or somebody else. I think is something that will bode well throughout this series. But this is their worst matchup by far. This is the one team that's built to give Denver problems. And we saw that last year in the playoffs. It was competitive, and people laughed about it. Yeah. But if you watched the games, you saw that Minnesota actually had something in that series.
So I have a question for y'all.
Yeah.
How many of you, other than me and Nick, think that the T-Wolves are going to win the finals? Is anyone else hopping on the train with me and Nick here?
No.
I put the bet in. I just said it, yeah.
Oh, all right.
I mean, I could see it. Like, selfishly, I want to see Knicks Timberwolves in the finals and just have games be like 80-85, like in the finals. Just the two best defensive teams in the league going at it.
78-77.
Yeah, like that. I feel like that would be awesome, and that would get the old heads who like don't like the NBA anymore. Would be like, wow, look at that. They're not scoring 120 points. Like if you had, if it was T-Wolves Knicks in the finals, that's literally like the most points scored in a game would be like 170. Like it would be an insane amount of defense played. But it's tough for me to see a team that could beat the Timberwolves right now. Like they, in a 7-game series with the amount of depth they have and the way they play defense, on top of having one of the most dynamic players in the NBA, one of the best scoring bigs in the NBA. Like we'll see. We'll see if Luka and Kyrie can be enough to, because those are two guys that no matter how many, like Luka and Kyrie are not Jamal Murray or Devin Booker. They are isolation scorers that it doesn't matter how good of defense you're playing on them, they are going to get their buckets. Yeah. So I would love to see that as the Western Conference Finals and just see those guys go at it.
Yeah, OKC tonight too, which is going to be a big test for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone's the one to go out.
I think everyone's sleeping on OKC. We got some questions about that in the future on some NBA.
Man, NBA
talk.
is in good hands.
Dude,
NBA
it really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
The Western Conference always seems to be so fucking good. My
It's
whole
way
entire
better.
life. My entire life has been that way.
Because all the California teams, all the Texas teams, everybody, they want to play.
spend
You
money.
want to play in Cali or you want to play in Texas.
That's fair.
Like, if I had a choice to go between the Spurs or the Bucks,
they're even
I'm going to the
structured well
Spurs.
too, though. Like obviously Wemby fell the Spurs.
Yeah.
OKC did what they've done. The Timberwolves drafted really well.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's also luck too, because remember Anthony Davis was supposed to go to the Bobcats by like odds. Bobcats had the worst record in the league, and then all of a sudden, he ends up in New Orleans. Like it just
The Hawks traded Luka Doncic.
Yeah, it seems like the transcendent players just either went there through free agency, like Spencer pointed out, or they happened to get drafted there.
That's such an L too, though. Is just trading Luka Doncic for Trae Young. Like, oof.
Well, and DeAndre Hunter. Don't forget.
And like the Kings fan that's like celebrating when they draft Marvin Bagley. He's like, I didn't want Luka. Let's go. It's like,
Yeah, have you seen the one of the Chiefs fan who
when they
after
draft Patrick Mahomes? Yeah.
That guy just looks like the biggest
hindsight is
dumbass.
20/20, but like when I was looking at Luka Doncic and I was seeing him win MVPs against grown men at like
14,
16, it's like,
I'm just
all
like
right,
draft him.
Yeah, this guy's gonna be a freak.
Yeah. It made no sense that guy was competing against grown man, the best player on the court, and you're just like, yeah, well, I don't know if it'll translate. Like,
All
what
while,
the
like,
NBA
not
game
being
isn't
super
even as
athletic
physical as
either.
overseas.
Yeah, he's a 6'7", 225-pound guard. What do you mean it's not gonna translate? Like,
Yeah, it was always the stupidest thing.
Well, when we get back from break, we'll be joined by One Bar. We'll be talking some Detroit lines, some NFC North. Well, I'll say it.
I want to ask him about Anthony Edwards.
But first, tell us about Feldman.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. And catch Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Monday. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody!
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports has a new morning show. Start your day with Wake Up Woodward. Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. live on Woodward Sports. Join Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, Broder, JB, and KG every morning as they cover all of Detroit sports. Sports talk, banter, and live fan interaction, all on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Guys, you know it. VMix, the best system you guys could sign up for. Make sure you never do it. You'll ruin your life. But make sure you smash that like button. Be a friend, tell a friend.
I don't know what McAfee I think McAfee uses VMix.
No way.
Because like his sets look pretty similar to like the V sets they have in there, and he was struggling to get Austin Rivers on today, and it was like on air, and Austin Rivers was like, "Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?" And stuff like I saw McAfee like dude, it's like we all deal with the same shit in this business.
Yeah. It is wild though that like StreamYard, and maybe because there's less stuff you can do with it, there's less inputs.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But it just blows my mind that stuff like seems to work way better in my mind. But smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, because he's officially here. I got the thumbs up from Chris. Our guy, 1 bar. Join us. Minnesota Vikings content creator. Hey,
there he is.
Is that a Lions shirt?
It's a Timberwolves.
Oh.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
So let's start it right there, because we were just gushing over your boy. He's my favorite player to watch in the NBA. I would be a flat-out Timberwolves fan if you guys didn't have 3 of my most hated players in the NBA on it, with Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, and Kyle Anderson. But how has this been watching this just nuclear rise of Anthony Edwards?
Man, this is uncharted territories, fellas. I mean, this is the Timberwolves we're talking about. We're not supposed to be good. And what we're seeing is amazing. It's not even just amazing, it's dominant. I mean, we're making this Denver Nugget team look silly. We did that yesterday with we didn't have Rudy Gobert. I mean, that's insane.
That's just nuts.
It's a beautiful thing. You guys were nailing it as far as the defense. They're bringing a whole nother element, which is wonderful to see. It's old school NBA. It's the 85 Bears. Their defense are shutting everybody down. And when it's all said and done, if they actually make a run, if they actually win this thing, it's going to be because of that defense and because of that depth. It's beautiful. And Anthony Edwards is on a whole different level.
Yeah,
and 22 years old. 22.
That's what we just got done saying. We're kind of just freaking out about that. Congratulations to you for them. I think they're going to be doing a lot amazing things for some time to come. As you said, like doing that last night without Rudy Gobert. I mean, the Nuggets are a very, very good team. A very good. I mean, they're the defending NBA champions, for Christ's sake. But I brought you on here to talk some football, man. Yesterday, we did our all NFC North offensive teams, and got a little bit of backlash. Just if you wouldn't mind, I guess we'll just give you the Detroit Lions offensive line, right? It's the best in football. We'll make it easy, that part. You don't gotta give us any offensive linemen. Although I did have Darrisaw as my left tackle. I will say that.
You gave some love to Darrisaw, baby. I loved it. And actually, when I saw that, I'm like, where the hell's Brian O'Neill? And then I'm like, all right, you got me on that one. Penny's damn good. So I can't complain about that.
What do you make of the rest of that list, though? I guess quarterback's the big one we've been talking about, but we threw guy JJ in there. I know Ass is in the rise, but he didn't make it for me.
No, I thought it was pretty damn close. I'd like to come on here and sit and whine and complain that some of my boys aren't on there. I would have went Jared Goff. More so just Jared Goff. I mean, Jordan Love, we'll see. I want to see him back that thing up. He had a fantastic year. There's no doubt about it. But Jared Goff, when it's clutch time, I'm going Jared Goff 10 times out of 10 over Jordan Love. So I would have put Goff on there over him. Other than that, the running back one was a little bit, it's kind of default because every team other than the Lions have a new running back this year. Yeah. So I'll give you Gibbs on that one, just default wise. Actually, Montgomery would be a damn close second. We'll see when Aaron Jones comes out this year and rushes for 1,400 yards and shoves it up the Packers' ass. We'll talk next year if he can be on this list. But Sam Laporta too. I mean, did you Hawkinson wasn't even in consideration? Still,
He
still
was in
sour grapes
consideration.
or what?
He was
in
consideration. He
yeah.
was in consideration for sure. Hey, Hawkinson was carrying me in fantasy last year, so I had a lot of respect for
Myself
what he did.
as well.
Yeah, DJ Moore. I mean, it's not like I can come on and say Addison should be over him or St. Brown. No way in hell. So overall, I mean, I thought it was pretty spot on. There's no way in hell the Vikings are getting an interior offensive lineman on here. Packer wise, you kept it to a minimum, and really, if it was up to me, that one wouldn't even be on there. And so it was a pretty good list. Pretty good list. Defense wise, Vikings, I don't think are gonna have a very good showing.
Yeah, we're doing
defensive
the
side.
defense today, and I can't say that I had too many Vikings on there for the defense.
Yeah, I
but
don't think I did either,
Hitman
honestly.
Harrison Smith.
yeah,
Come on, man.
Yeah, maybe 10 years ago I'd put Harris.
Josh Metellus.
But looking at what you guys have next year, going, big draft class. Some people on this network even were very critical of the Vikings draft class. I liked it a lot. Like, I think JJ is going to be a good prospect. I thought Dallas Turner is arguably the best defensive prospect in the draft. And then you got a guy in Kyrie Jackson that I like a lot as well out of Oregon. How excited are you about these young guys to come in and try to keep that mojo going for the Vikings?
Well, here's the thing. Like, going into this draft, the Vikings made no secret that they were looking at Drake May potentially. I mean, the compensation would have been just too absolutely crazy. So I actually give Kwesi, our GM, some credit, not just completely going crazy and giving up potentially 4 first-round picks for him. So I look at getting J.J. McCarthy at 10, and I think that's fantastic. I mean, we were going into this Vikings. I mean, everybody covering the Vikings, all the inside was we're going to go up to like 5 with the Chargers and give up our 2 firsts and a first next year and end up with JJ McCarthy. That was kind of the thinking. So to get him at 10, and I know we gave up some mid-round picks, and I think that's a lot of the backlash with the Vikings is just the compensation we gave up to go get some of these guys. So number 1, JJ McCarthy, love it. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and say that he's a surefire prospect by any means. Everybody knows his downfalls. Can he actually carry a team? Can he do this? Can he do that? At Michigan, they ran the ball. I know all that, but at pick 10, I'm all in on it. I love it. We'll see what happens. And then with the Dallas Turner thing, that to me, that's just insane. Like, to come out of this thing with JJ McCarthy and Dallas Turner in one draft, 2 guys that were looked at as locks as top 10, they could have not made another pick, and I would have been fine. Like, anything else is just the cherry on top. So I get why some people don't like it, just mostly because of the trading around and losing draft picks. Next year, we don't have much draft capital at all. But also from a Viking standpoint, we were used to Rick Spielman ending up with 15 draft picks every year, and 14 of them sucked ass. So I'm all for change, baby. Bring it on. Bring on the top-heavy stuff. Let's see what Dallas Turner can do. Let's see what J.J. McCarthy can do. And the people bitching about J.J. McCarthy, I mean, what is it, a third of first-round quarterbacks actually pan out? So we'll see. We'll see. He's coming into a fantastic situation.
Absolutely is. I don't know if he'll start right away, but whoever starts, they'll be in a fantastic situation. I want to talk about this defense a little bit, though, because I've been on record saying I think you guys actually may have gotten better despite the departure of Danielle Hunter. Like, I think for what Brian Flores likes to run, Van Ginkel was a great addition. Obviously, Dallas Turner could drop into coverage and blitz the quarterback. And you guys also got, a lot of people forgetting about Jonathan Grenard. What are your expectations for this defense next year?
It's definitely not as sexy as having Danielle Hunter. So we're again less top heavy, but we're more spread out, more talented, I would say, overall. What Brian Flores did with that ratty ass defense last year should give anybody hope. As far as these guys that they brought in, it's a lot of new faces on one defense, though, because Grenard, Van Ginkel, Blake Cashman in the middle. You're bringing in Dallas Turner, Shaq Griffin at corner. A lot of new faces, but that's fine. The biggest issue is the defensive line, something the Vikings did not address in really free agency or the draft, which was probably the biggest head scratcher. But we'll see. I mean, I think the defense will overall be better. And really, that's saying quite a bit because their defense was actually pretty damn good last year. And it comes down to Brian Flores. The dude's a magician. He's got a magic wand. He didn't even get a single call for a head coaching job, which sucks ass for him. But for the Vikings fans, we couldn't have asked for anything better because we need him here. And the guys he brought in are his guys. So we'll see. They were cherry picking from that Houston Texan defense that was fantastic last year with Grenard and Cashman. And when you throw a Dallas Turner in the mix, I like it. And I'm not going to sit here and say, I mean, Vikings going into next season, I'm not looking at this team as a team that's going to come in and think we're going to compete for the NFC North. I'm not saying, I mean, anything's possible, but we got to be realistic with where we're at. I mean, we got a lot of new faces on this team. We got potentially a rookie quarterback starting or Sam Darnold starting, which is absolutely disgusting. But I think we'll surprise a few teams with a couple of wins.
I don't hate Sam Darnold. I think there's definitely a lot worse you can do at quarterback, especially when you have your quarterback of the future waiting in the wings. But speaking of, you said guys you need. Speaking of guys you need and guys that anybody on the face of the NFL world would need, Justin Jefferson still hasn't got that deal done. Has there been any rumblings about what he's looking at, what the Vikings are looking at? Because it's got to be upwards of $35 million a year, I would assume, for a player of his caliber. And what's the worry factor for you guys for Justin Jefferson's deal getting done?
I think the worry factor is extremely low. So here's the biggest issue, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. When it comes to the worry is his payday. Like, the Vikings are going to pay him. He's going to get paid. There's no way in hell that that's not going to happen unless all of a sudden he's just like, get me out of here. But nobody sees that. He's saying all the right things. He's doing all the right things. If he was starting to, be cryptic on social media or do something crazy, then it'd be one thing, but it's not. Everybody thinks this is going to get done probably pretty soon, even within the next week or so. We'll see. It seems like when we hit each milestone, it's like, oh, it'll be after the draft. Oh, it'll be after free agency. I mean, it's getting time now where it needs to get done. I don't think anybody's worried, but yeah, $35 million, absolutely. It's funny because we actually have a lot of fans like hating on that. They want to trade the guy. I mean, this is the world I'm living in right now, where people are just complaining about actually paying him. I mean, what are your thoughts? What's Justin Jefferson worth?
Oh, I think he's worth whatever he wants to be worth. He's the best receiver in the NFL. I think there are 32 GMs that would pay him upwards of $35 million a year.
Yeah.
Man, thank you. Thank you. It's good to hear that because everyone's just complaining about it. It's insane. It's insane to me.
I do. I think he's as good as it gets when it comes to the receiver position. So I'd give him any amount of money he's asking for.
And to me, I wonder what your take is on it, but I feel like a key to his happiness is kind of just, is it not JJ McCarthy? And like, is there some sort of, do you think they had some sort of sign that he believed in JJ before acquiring him? Because obviously a receiver and a quarterback, that's the relationship that matters most. So I feel like there was something there, and that's the key to his happiness in Minnesota, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, Jefferson was balling out when he had Nick Mullins throwing him the damn ball. So, like, there's no issue there. When you throw it anywhere around him, he's going to catch the ball. I mean, I don't think he's concerned about J.J. McCarthy whatsoever. I think it's really the opposite side of things, is like they can bring a guy in like J.J. McCarthy because they have Justin Jefferson. I think they would have been more aggressive with one of the other quarterbacks if they knew something wasn't going to get done with that, because McCarthy, I mean, he's more of the safer type of guy where Drake May is just slinging that thing all over the place. So I think Jefferson's all on board. I wouldn't be surprised one damn bit if they rolled it by him beforehand and say, look, what do you think about this J.J. McCarthy guy? Not that Jefferson's running the team, but they would be very smart to do that. Hopefully he did that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something you got to do. I mean, he is the franchise. Speaking of the quarterback position, what are the lingering feelings with you guys involving Kirk Cousins? Like, that's my guy, it's Spartan dog, Cole's Cash Kirk, and it's kind of an ugly break there at the end of a guy that, I mean, I know everywhere he goes, he says he wants to retire as that team, as that guy, but what's the relationship like now with the fans and Kirk Cousins?
They chose JJ over him.
You seeing the stuff come out now where they put it out there. They weren't going to give him the entire guarantee that he wanted. And they also said that they were still going to probably draft a quarterback early in this draft. And Kirk Cousins is just like, no, thanks, I'm out of here. And then you watch the Falcons go draft Michael Penix, which I still daily have to change my pants even when I think about that. It's insane. That blows my freaking mind. And Kirk Cousins has to be losing his mind. But overall, Vikings fans, nobody can hate Kirk Cousins. If you do, you got deeper rooted issues. The dude's too damn nice. He was too fantastic here. He did awesome. We all love him. But I think it was a pretty clean breakup. I mean, it was pretty mutual. And he wanted some money and he wanted to go somewhere else and we wanted to get younger. So the whole Penix thing, I actually feel bad for Kirk Cousins, man. That's a kick to the nuts.
I couldn't believe that. I thought they were no doubt taking Dallas Turner and then
yeah, you guys got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't see your guys' reaction when that pick was happened, but based off of everybody else's, I can only imagine.
It was definitely one of the wilder ones in my recent memory. I like Penix. It just the selection at 8 just didn't make too much sense. Unless other teams really liked them too. I mean, I don't know. Even if you move on from Cousins in the Atlanta situation, like you're gonna be in dead cap.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you have like Penix playing,
$100 million guaranteed.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense to me. But I still think they'll probably win that division this year. The NFC South is a weaker one anyway, and Atlanta, as much as like Desmond Ridder sucked, they're still like in it to the end of the season, if I'm not mistaken, last year too.
Yeah, and when Penix went 8, not only was it shocking, but it didn't help the Vikings scenario of J.J. McCarthy because that all of a sudden added some urgency with a quarterback gone that teams behind us like the Broncos, Raiders, whoever, trading up. Now there's a lot more urgency because no one in the right mind wanted Bo Nix. Yeah. So that's when I really started to get worried. Like, shit, we're not going to end up with a quarterback. McCarthy's going to be gone.
I did want to ask this though. We finally won the division. Detroit Lions finally did it.
Woo!
However, the very next year, it feels
Lions
like
fans.
everyone's stockpiled up. You guys self-included. I don't think you guys are in the running to win it, but you guys definitely going to be a tough beat. Not as easy as it was last year. Who do you have winning this division this year? I guess if you want, even put them in like in order.
Well, I got the Lions for sure. I mean, your guys' draft was damn good. I mean, Arnold and Raxter back to back. It's like, damn, you're just hitting those needs with a sledgehammer. And then your final 2 picks were 2 guys that I absolutely loved. And I wanted Mahogany as early as round 4. And then you get him and Mekhi Wingo from LSU. I think you guys nailed the draft. The dudes in the middle, I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke and pretend I know a ton about. But I think the Lions will win the North. Packers, obviously they're going to be in the running and they're going to be good. And they no doubt could push to get that number 1 spot. I got to see them back it up. I got to see Jordan Love do what he did last year. I got to see those young receivers doing things that they should not have been doing. And maybe they will, but I'm not buying into that hype yet. So I would say the Lions, the Packers, and then if I'm doing you justice and not just going to drink some purple Kool-Aid, that Bears defense is damn good with the addition of DeAndre Swift and obviously Adunze and the rookie quarterback. They could actually go 3, and then the Vikings could end up last. We'll see. With this Vikings offense, like I said, I think we could surprise some weeks where all of a sudden we're like, holy shit, I can't believe we won that game. But then all of a sudden look like a team with a rookie quarterback. So I think it's a toss-up between 3 and 4 with the Bears and Vikings, but I think it's the Lions and Packers 1 and 2.
Yeah. Speaking of those middle guys, that dude we got out of British Columbia, like you said, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I knew who the fuck he was before we drafted him, but 6'8", 350 pounds, ran a sub 540 and has a 37-inch vertical. Like, the dude is just an absolute monster out there. So if he can do anything, he could be a pretty good offensive lineman.
They can move to defensive tackle if you want to.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, go ahead.
No. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm just gonna say. I'm just gonna say again. Your draft was ridiculous. Your last 2 picks were dudes I wanted both in round 4. Mahogany is not a very nice guy. Like that's what we need on our offensive line. We have Blake Brandel starting at left guard. So have fun tearing him a new one and putting Sam Darnold on his ass when we play you.
Yeah, and speaking of not very nice guys, and in the middle of that defense, a guy we signed in free agency in DJ Reader he's a load in the middle of that defensive line, and that is something the Lions didn't really have last year, is just that guy that you could chalk in there every single play at interior defensive lineman. How worried are you about him looking at that interior offensive line for the Vikings?
No, that when that signing came, I think I was doing a Dose of Dion. We were doing a show, and he was just hoping and praying for DJ Reader. And you guys ended up getting him. So the week later, you got to rub it in a little bit. No, that's horrifying. If Garrett Bradbury can't hold his own against anybody, he's going to get pushed on his ass. That's why we're still one of the last teams in the NFL that still has a fullback, because we need somebody back there helping protect them. So, yeah, it's not great. But luckily, you guys also signed Marcus Davenport. We won't have to worry about.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you about that, because I know it wasn't a great experience for Vikings fans, but in just 3 games, he did show up with 2 sacks. Like, what was it like when he was actually on the field?
You know, surprisingly, as much as I'd like to give you crap, if he's on the field, he played damn good. When we signed him, I went on, we had a Saints guy come on, and we were just picking his brain about Marcus Davenport. Like, what do we get? Because we signed him to a 1-year, $10 million, and at time, it was like, damn, it seems like we're overpaying for Marcus Davenport for a guy that rarely is on the field and hasn't really done much. And he nailed it. He nailed it, and that's exactly what we saw. He just said he's a freak. He's a freak of an athlete. I just don't know if he likes football. And that's exactly what we saw. I mean, when he was out there, he was a freak, but his injury was, I can't even remember what it was. And when they were interviewing, hey, you're going to come back, you're going to come back. I was like, I don't know. You know, he's just like, maybe we'll see. We'll see, you know, and the coaches were saying, like, basically, this dude's healthy. We don't know why he's not on the field. It was weird. Oof. Like he had no desire to get back on the field. He had no desire to play. He was very, I'll say, unlikable as a player. But when he was out there, he showed up. He showed up.
Now, one other piece I want to get through before we let you get going, and I appreciate you taking the time to join us, man. But things got kind of nasty between our fan bases for what felt like the first time in my life. Vikings fans they're really weird about the Kirby Joseph situation. I guess, how do you perceive that? And would you like to apologize for those guys? I guess where are we at with the rivalry there? Are things heating up? Are we new favorite or least favorites?
Never. Not possible. Bears, I think it's just a common theme for any other team in the Bears. We just feel bad for those guys. That's why, like, deep down, when I say that we could finish 4th, there's no way in hell. We're not finishing below the Bears, but I got to say it. So when it comes to Packers fans, Packers will always be the most hated. The Lions, I'll say at the end, I've always been, I've never, like, had that hatred or anything close to that when it comes to the Lions. Like coming out with you guys, I collab with Mike all the time. Dose of Dion, like easily the most favorite great ones guys to talk football with. So I will say the Kirby Joseph thing was did not help, and everyone got their panties in a bunch. Vikings Twitter is absolutely insane, and we will admit that, crazy. But as far as hatred, no, not really. I would say at the end, it was the honeymoon was over, where it was always like, you know, kind of rooting for the Lions. You know, they've always just been kind of ass for years, and all of a sudden they got a solid ass team, so you're easy to root for. But then all of a sudden it's like the Lions also like, damn, you guys found out you were good, and started giving it back to us, which is well deserved. But no, it's all good. I mean, there's some crazy ass fans out there. I know you guys were talking about Alyssa. She was getting into it with some Lions fans.
Lions fans. She was a victim of.
Yep, I've had her on the show a handful of times. She's fantastic, very positive, but also knows how to throw a punch, which is always fun.
There it is, and that's what I was going to ask you. Have you seen the Bulge Army on Twitter? This Detroit kind of movement of Detroit fans on Twitter that has all these eccentric names. What are your thoughts on the Bulge movement in the Detroit Lions Twitter?
Hey, I love it, man. It's entertaining. It's cheap entertainment. I love this shit. I try to stay out of it. I just kind of grab some popcorn, grab a beer, and sift through it. I steer clear, but that's what makes it fun, man. As long as you're not getting too crazy, throwing out shots. And yeah, there's some crazy shit out there, but it's fun as hell. It's gonna be fun this year when the Lions and Vikings play. Because it's a whole new ball game, man. Mm-hmm, Lions are a damn good team, and if you're not willing to at least admit that, then you get the hell out of here. I mean, you got to at least talk football and say the truth. It's fine to say you don't like the Lions, but damn good team.
Yeah, I think you made a good point. Like, we're finally at the big boy table for real now. We're not the cute little story, like the little brother, like, oh, look at the Lions, they're doing so well. No, like now we won the division. We got to the NFC Championship game. We're playing well. And I gotta say, same for Vikings fans. Like, I've had my battles with Vikings fans on Twitter, but you guys are infinitely better than Bears and Packers. Packers are still my number one most hated team, then the Bears, and then the Vikings when it comes to the division.
No, absolutely. Look at it. Vikings fans got to look at it this way. Like the Timberwolves, we've been the Lions for years, and all of a sudden we're showing up. So we can't be no hypocrites. So if the Timberwolves keep ripping it up, I expect the honeymoon to be over there, and it's not a cute and cuddly anymore. It's like, oh shit, we got to beat Ant. He's the next man up. So it's easy you just got to spin it that way.
Yeah, that's fair.
Appreciate you, man. I know you do that great NFC North show you do every week, and then plug your show as well. Let people know where they can find more One Bar.
Yeah, One Bar in Lupagus, Daily Vikings. It's going to be a fun ride this year. Is it going to be Sam Darnold, JJ McCarthy? What are we going to do? It's going to be great, but that's how you can find us. And the number one thing is, if the Vikings, even if they have a down years, are figuring things out, the key is Aaron Jones needs to tear up the Packers 2 weeks. Each time they play him, he needs to tear him a new one, 150 each time, 2 touchdowns.
I can see it happening.
Hey,
that was a wild trade-off to me.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs over Aaron Jones. If Aaron Jones gave you everything, Josh Jacobs was going to give you as well. Maybe the health. Maybe they know more about the health situation, though. I don't know. Does that concern you, actually?
We'll see. I mean, it's obviously a big concern. The thing, if the dude's coming in motivated, he's already got Viking. I mean, he's mildly trolling the Packers fans. He's got the purple sombrero now, opposed to the Packer one. He's got purple in his dreads. It's a wonderful thing. So that dude, he could not ever step on the field, and it hurt the Packers so bad it was worth it.
Let's go. Appreciate you, to be honest, brother.
Appreciate you so much, man.
Oh man, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me, man.
Of course. Dude, always great to have One Bar on.
Man.
Definitely.
He is a soul. I've said this in the show before. The soul thing, like, keeping me from flying off the deep end when it comes to like a lot of those Vikings.
The
fans.
shining light.
Yeah. Bears are still like my least favorite team.
I hate the Bears. I hate the Packers. Dude.
Not gonna lie though, the Vikings fans on Twitter, they climbed to number 1 or 2.
The Twitter,
the Rams.
I think the Rams were worse than the Vikings fans, honestly, because the Vikings fans, like, there's a reason they can,
Yeah, it's fair.
Like, we're division rivals.
Yeah,
we're interdivision rivals, so you're going to be a little more choppy. Rams fans were just
soft.
God, so soft.
We did beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, at least Vikings fans, we know they can drink beer and fight. Like, Rams fans are just soft.
Yeah.
But let me tell you guys about Guardian Alarm. Guardian Alarm offers you customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. They also have 24/7 professional monitoring. You can call them anytime, day or night, and a Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. And of course, they have technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. So call them at 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
And let them know Woodward Sports sent you, and they sent you to Dispo.
And we sent you to Dispo. Make sure you guys pull up the Dispo, guys. They got the best deals, the best bud tenders, the best curated atmosphere, and the largest name brand of cannabis products. Make sure you guys pull up this Dispo dispensary. There's multiple locations across the great state of Michigan. Find one close to you by visiting disposhops.com. If you can't make it there, get delivered to your door with Dispo Dash. Again, that's disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, relax, and let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. And let me tell you about Premier Pet Supply. Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box retailers. With one major difference, they're family and locally owned and operated for 30 plus years. Over 60 brands of food with nutrition experts to help you. Same day local curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com.
I feel like a farm with all these rotations of goats on this show here today. Because next up, we got a dose of Dion. Join the boys. What up, though, man?
Hey, I was gonna say, man, we got to give a clap for those reads because I'm sitting there watching it. And I don't even think you're looking at it. Like, you're just killing those ad reads, by the way. So I got to give you a clap for that. That was pretty awesome.
Dude, I do them twice a day, every day. They're burned into my memory by now.
But it was good though. It was good, man. Hey, it's good to see y'all again.
Oh, it's always good to have you on the show, dude. Appreciate you joining us. Did you hear any of our conversation with One Bar? We had one.
I heard the ending of it. I heard just the ending of it, like the last couple minutes.
He was gushing about the Lions draft. He was saying, obviously Terrion and Raxter was great, a 1-2 punch, but the guys he liked later in the draft with Mahogany and Mekhi Wingo, you said, like, those are steals. So even Vikings fans are in love with what Brad Holmes is doing.
Yeah, I remember talking to shout out to One Bar right after the draft, and he brought up specifically the Mekhi Wingo one. It was as the one that he was like, dang, he shouldn't have been available at that spot. I showed the Vikings some love too. I showed them some because I like the Vikings aggressiveness, but my goodness, okay, people get on about like what we gave up last year for Manu, for example, get him a 3rd round pick. Vikings got a 1st round pick and 2 5th round picks next season. So maybe they'll end up with some comp picks, but they have like nothing next season.
Yeah, really, really nothing. And it's tough to see where they're going to be building from. But what the Lions are building towards is just a Super Bowl. And we've had this argument. We did our all NFC North teams. We did our offense yesterday. We're going to do our defense today. And Eazy went under a little fire from the fans because he put Jordan Love above Jared Goff in his NFC North quarterback ranking. So where are you on the Jordan Love versus Jared Goff?
Eazy should get fined. All right, we're gonna find Jamal Murray. We should sign Eazy for that. I mean, this is look, yo, that's just one of those things. It's like even if there was like a sliver of you believe that Eazy, it just can't happen. All right, we cannot see that. All right, that can't happen. I think that brings bad vibes. Look, man, you know where I'm at with the whole situation, but I don't even know how to talk on this one because Jordan Love did ball out. Like Jordan Love did his thing. The second half of the season, he was awesome. I don't like being the guy that like sit here and be like, well, we just need to see more. But I think we truly do need to see more because I just think we need to see like what does he look like versus different defensive looks. I thought the first time we played him versus second time, he was a completely different guy, completely different preparation for us. And he was on top of it second time. So for me, the whole Jordan Love thing is like, we just need to see more. And then beyond that, I mean, I guess it's the same exact thing. We don't even know what these guys are going to look like in the NFL. Part of me believes that long-term, J.J. McCarthy is going to end up being the better quarterback than Caleb Williams. I don't know if that's just like a bias thing or what, but I truly believe that like we'll look back 10 years from now and we're going to see like, yo, J.J. McCarthy, dang, they made it right. Maybe not year one. We may not even see him that much in year one, but down the road, we're going to walk away saying like McCarthy stuck with that team. Caleb Williams may not have.
Wow. Is that just like a Bears quarterback by like the Bears never get good quarterbacks? Because I just find that I think Caleb Williams is going to be a stud. Like everything I've seen him do, I think he's going to be really good in the NFL.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, Caleb Williams could play. Like it's when I watch him, like I was expecting like all of like the, the flashy outside of this stuff to be the only thing that stands out, but it's like, nah, he's like really good on time too. Caleb Williams is legit. It is kind of the Bears thing. It's a situation that you go into. I think that plays so much into it, but it's also like more so me just betting on JJ McCarthy rather than like pushing down Caleb Williams. I would just bet on McCarthy. I'd bet on the character. I'd bet on the person. And I'd bet that that's like one of those guys that just down the road, he's not going to fail. Like you're going to make it work at some point. Meanwhile, Caleb, I think there could be just a little more hit and miss with, like you said, the environment that he's landing in.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dion, I was having some headphone difficulties there. What can I ask you this on the Jordan Love front? Actually, I don't even want to do this. I already know what your answer's going to be.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is the Packers' record if you swap out quarterbacks in that situation?
Wait, like with Goff and Love? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And last year, what were they last year? Would they win
9-8?
9-8? They were 9-8. I would say if they swapped quarterbacks, what would happen was they would have been off to a better start last season. I think they would have started better last season. I thought it looked really shaky for Jordan Love at the beginning, and then the end of the I think Jared Goff could play really well in a Matt LaFleur offense. Like I think his skill set would actually work pretty well in that offense. You may pull back on some of the vertical shots that you take, like when they opened up against us and they just took like a shot down the field. And I thought where Jordan Love thrived was that as the season went on, he was so good off schedule. Like that's where I give him so much credit, man. His ability to deal with pressure, just keep backing up in the pocket and then just trust that, man, he had a super talented arm and he was just able to fling that thing. Like he made a lot of plays to give him credit off schedule. I just thought the big difference in the second half of the season was that timing that they were trying to connect on, which everything fell off, started to connect. So I think with Goff, you would have been off to a much hotter start. I don't know where you would have finished record-wise because you would have had to tweak some things. But I will say that what they also have going for them is as many like who are their receivers. Like we had a lot of questions. Like, bro, those dudes were getting open. Jaden Reed was balling out. I know my man Bass was high on Jaden Reed. He was playing his butt off. Wick stepped up. Like they had legitimate dudes playing really well at receiver last season. So I don't know, Eazy. That's a tough one. You know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you they would have been worse. They definitely would have been better with Jared Goff. We understand that. But how much better, I don't know.
I agree. I said they'd be probably right around the same because when he asked me, I think they would have structured the offense differently to play to Jared Goff's strength. And I like that quartet of wide receivers they have. I think are very solid. But
the way I saw it is like the offensive line. Their offensive line was ass. That's why Jordan Morgan was like their first pick, right? Like we know our guy, as much as we love him, under duress isn't the best unless he's got that offense, you know, like the back of his hand, like he does now.
Yeah.
And Matt LaFleur does run a nice offense, but watching Jordan Love play last year, I feel like it was a lot of hero ball, which we know it's not our guy's strong suit. Still our guy, though. Still our guy.
Yeah, well, so that's actually funny you say that because like right before I got off, I was going to say the Packers' offensive line on paper is like way worse than ours, and I won't say that their offensive line compares to ours. Like you said, they just added Jordan Morgan, but they do find a way to just make it work. And I think the big thing that stands out there is that they hide their offensive line really well, and I think they do it with it schematically. Like it's almost you can almost like at times feel the kind of same thing with San Fran with Brock Purdy, whereas like his legs could kind of like hide that offensive line, and we saw that in the second half. Credit to Purdy, he was just taking off all over the place. And I think Jordan Love had some of that in him last season where, like Eazy said, like he was able to just backpedal, make passes, and it was like you could kind of minimize that. But I also think that we saw in the first time we played Jordan Love, and you saw the pressure that we had, and it was like, man, they can't block anything. We were just all over him. Second time we played them around, that ball's getting out quick, and it was quick. And to me, that is the specific game of the example of that's why we needed cornerback help. Like we needed cornerback help because of that team and playing that team and the fact that every time we went to zone, it was a completion. Every time we went to man, about half the time it was completion, half the time it wasn't. So it's like if we could have just lived in that, I think the whole game could have looked different. But that's kind of besides the point.
For sure. And when Eazy had to go take care of business yesterday, and KG filled in for him for the second half, and we brought up who we think is going to take the biggest leap on the Lions from last year to this year. And I brought up Kirby Joseph because of what we've seen him do already as a playmaker in that back end, adding guys who are sticky in coverage like Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson, Terran Arnold, that is Rakestraw, that he doesn't have to worry about kind of making up for their mistakes. I think Kirby Joseph is really going to shine, and he even has the potential to lead the league in interceptions next year. Like, what's your thoughts on Kirby Joseph's boom next year and what I think he could do?
Okay, so then I missed the beginning of that conversation with One Bar there because I heard him talking about Kirby Joseph. I actually love that pick, by the way. That's a great because even last year, like in a way, you kind of felt like was he taking a little bit of a step back this last season, and people would question like, is he getting too aggressive? Then when he had CD Deuce in the mix, there was just like it was unclear at times who was even the other safety. Like if he took off, so it's like who's the other safety? There feels like there's a rotation here. So I love that though because you're right, like. He hasn't lost that ability. I mean, he had the surgery this offseason, so hopefully he's coming back healthy or things like that. But he hasn't lost that ability to have the range that he has in the back end. And what he clicked for me was that he showed real ability to step down and play man coverage. Like I felt like with Walker for a long time, it was like that's something we're trying to add to his game because we want that flexibility. And if he just has that kind of naturally because he was a corner, but Kirby Joseph's ability to carry that immediately over was there. But where he separates for us already is, like you said, he's taking the football away from Rodgers. He had the range. I mean, he looked natural back there. He had some savvy to his game. I love that pick. Actually. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Dion, we did like he said, we did our all NFC North team. I feel like the offense is pretty spot on. Outside of obviously the arguments with the quarterback.
Yeah, ours were exactly the same except for the quarterback.
Yeah. Was there – no, because I know exactly what you're going to say. Hawkinson, Laporta, you taking Laporta in that situation too?
I would take Laporta, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys
All
took
right.
Laporta, right?
Yeah, we did.
What about the running back situation? I mean, they had, they still got Aaron Jones. Josh Jacobs is brought into the mix. Mm-hmm. We both had Jahmyr Gibbs, but are you going with him as well?
Ooh, yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, Josh Jacobs is legit, man. Josh Jacobs makes that thing interesting because to me, Jahmyr Gibbs had so many things that we didn't tap into last season. Like, I mean, if you were going based on what has he done for me so far, I think you'd have to go Jacobs. But for what you guys are saying, for next season,
yeah,
I think you go with Jahmyr Gibbs because of how he finished. Like as a running back, just the vision, the patience, it seemed to kind of come along. But then it was even just the flashes. It's like, why don't we use this guy more in the pass game? Like I was just like, why don't we throw this guy the ball more? And then we started to, and in the playoffs, it was like, oh my goodness, this guy's incredible there too. So I like that pick going forward. I think what they've done so far, though, you'd probably go Jacobs.
Jacobs?
Yeah.
I'm still taking Gibbs.
He doesn't like Josh Jacobs at all.
I think he's like, he's not great. I don't understand like the hype around him at all. I really don't understand.
Okay, Easy, but to what you just brought up about their offensive line, like the offensive line that he's been behind recently and what he's done with that offensive line. I mean, he's the guy that makes that thing go, in my opinion, for that whole run game. I'm with you on Gibbs going forward. I just think what they've done, you go Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. I guess when I did my list, I was going up because like the way you do all pro is like that season. So the way I did my list was off of like the 2023 season. And the way Jordan Love ended that season was like scary for those Lions fans.
He looks pretty damn good at the end of the year last year.
I just don't see like where you put him behind this offensive line, and like it's not nasty.
I had the same argument with you as you, Deanna. Like I need to see him do it again.
And that's fair.
I need to see, like, we've seen a lot of quarterbacks come in, have one great year, and then kind of fizzle. Because once the league gets, a full year of tape on you, it's definitely a different beast out there. So I need to see Jordan Love do it again before I'm going to put him over Goff.
That's
absolutely
fair. That's fair. My whole thing, I mean, obviously brought up the numbers, the touchdowns, turnovers, and then like Lions, better offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
It's better offensive weapons with running back, receivers, and tight end. Like, he would cook. Do you have anything to say real quick, Dion? I apologize.
No, I'm good on that. Yeah.
Do you care if we go to break real quick and come back?
Go for it. Yep.
All right, sweet.
Perfect. Let me tell you guys about Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all that for just $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you're at, there's Planet Fitness close by. More than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Congratulations to the real coach of the year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza is taking over Michigan. Locations are popping up all over Metro Detroit. They've doubled their locations this year. Known for their quality hand-battered and hand-breaded chicken tenders, their delicious chicken sandwiches, and their New York-style pizza. Find any Soroki's at a mega station near you, or go to Sorokis.com to figure out where you can get some of this delicious food.
Welcome back to World Heavyweights. We are joined by Dose of Dion. I'm Eazy, Spinmo Rax.
Hello.
Chris, Nicholas Kohloff. Dion, I know you and I, we've been kind of doing our streams on the Tuesdays, and we've been talking more draft stuff. I haven't really got to talk to you about the NFC North as a whole. Who do you have as our biggest threat to win this division?
Yeah, no, this is a good question. So this has changed on me. This changes on me a lot, but for me right now, it's Chicago. I think Chicago's the other team. I think Green Bay is definitely the safest bet because Green Bay doesn't typically have a lot of variance. Like, you don't go from year to year and expect Green Bay to just fall off. That doesn't happen. And they also don't have a lot of moving parts. So there's no really reason to believe that they will fall off. But I really do think where Chicago's at, and Eazy, I know that we've talked about this, right? The defense that they have, I think for every team they're going to give problems to. And because now they can play, they're going to believe that they can play a different game. We'll have to see if that's there or not, but they're going to believe they can play a different game than what they were able to do last season with Tyson Bagent. They have guys rolling in and out of quarterback. They can't trust their passing attack. I think for that team, for the Lions specifically, they're going to be a problem because you already know going to Chicago to play outside, if it's not early in the season, it's going to be difficult just normally. But both times they gave us a run last season, I think their defense is legit and honestly just got stronger. But offensively, what they've added, they have Roma Dunze is going to be good year one. Keenan Allen's going to be good year one. Caleb Williams doesn't need to be a great quarterback for those guys to be impactful. And they had a run game last season between guys that aren't even there anymore. And their offensive line wasn't like on paper notably great. So I think that they carry a lot of strength in a lot of different places. And I think that their head coach, honestly, got a lot of like hate last season. But I don't think he's done a poor job. Like when you watch Chicago, they know who they are. They play what they do schematically. I think they've done fine. They just haven't had the answers on offense. I think Chicago's the biggest threat.
This next year, you think they're a bigger threat than Green Bay?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd put Chicago up there. Yeah. Look, I mean, go ahead. Yeah.
No, please.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, like I said, Green Bay doesn't have a lot of changing parts, but I do think that Green Bay for us specifically, like I think the additions that we made are really going to help us match up with them. The cornerback additions, the emphasis that we put there, even if it was just Carlton Davis, would completely, I think, shake up what that's going to look like. And the second thing would be the interior offensive line, which is the other thing that I thought has given us problems against that team. They haven't really went crazy at cornerback. Green Bay has it, right? They had a little addition this year. They've had nice pieces. They usually play sound football. Their safeties can take the football away. So we know that they'll have that upside. They could just take the football away. But I think the Lions match up pretty well with them. And with guys like Zeitler now on the interior, if Graham Glasgow just plays better, which was basically his worst game last season, I think we match up way better against Green Bay than we do with Chicago.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that because that
rough matchup for us.
That's where Green Bay was getting all the pressure. It was on that interior, and now you got one of, if not the best pass blocking guards in the NFL. So,
how do you see the secondary situation shaping out, Dion? In terms, I mean, one of these rookies is going to end up starting, in my opinion. Which one is it in your opinion, and where?
Yeah, so I think Terrion's definitely going to start. It's kind of the boring answer, but I think he has to start. Terrion Arnold, to me, I'm not worried about the speed whatsoever. I think he can play in multiple coverage types. I think he'll start out wide for us. Carlton Davis, as long as he's healthy coming into the season, which he should be, he's going to start. Carlton Davis has proven it. I think you can just go look back at last season. Even though some of the numbers aren't there, that guy's a legitimate cornerback, right? He's also going to offset what we already have in that cornerback room well. So those two will start to me. I think Brian Branch is still going to start in that slot role. I think he just thrives there. But if the Detroit Lions, especially if they're going to say we're going to lean more and more man heavy, if they do want to do that and they want to see some flexibility, and this is where, the Kirby thing kind of comes into play, and at times they want to kick him more to safety. I know last season they did it against heavy personnel to put him at safety. I expect that to continue. But if they want to kind of mess around with that and hey, we're going 3 receivers, but we're still going to go to safety and put you there because we still think that you could be great at that spot. And maybe we could limit even some of the questions that we have in man coverage from this role because I thought he matched up with tight end as well in college. Then I think Raxter would be the next guy up. I think that he could start immediately from slot because I think he plays that anticipation. Obviously, you have Amik Robertson, but I like him more out wide. So I think what's going to happen is I think Terrion Arnold's going to step in. He's going to be our best corner. I think Mosley can start, but I think Terrion Arnold's going to be the guy that's just going to ultimately take over that role. He'll start opposite of Davis. I think Branch will be in the slot unless they start moving that around, and then your backups behind that will just be, it'll be Raxter potentially rotating in and out with Branch, and then I think you'll have Amik Robertson and Mosley as your backups out wide.
And the one position group on this defense that really stayed the same from last year is the linebacking core because we saw all of those guys show out and have good spurts of play. Obviously, Anzalone was fantastic all year. Derek Barnes really came into his own. Malcolm, when he gets in there, does some things. Even Jalen Reeves-Maybin, when he's given the opportunity, he went out there and he made plays. But a guy in Jack Campbell that I'm expecting a jump from. I'm expecting him to be kind of the alpha in that room next year because he's the best prospect. He's the most talented guy out of the draft prospects that we've gotten so far. What can you see from Jack Campbell going into his second year, having Kelvin Shepard kind of tutor him, and adding a guy like DJ Reader that'll help those linebackers?
When you brought up that you had Kirby Joseph for that answer, the guy to break out, it was like quickly in my head, like, okay, who would I have for that answer? And Jack Campbell was the guy that came to mind. So I think Jack Campbell linebacker position kind of feels like tight end, where we kind of view tight end as like, yo, tight end, man, those guys usually don't pop really. Laporta did, but they usually don't. But I think linebacker is kind of like that now. I mean, linebacker, they have so much on these dudes' plate and all the movement that you get. I mean, just look at Green Bay, all the eye candy that they're going to throw at you, all the movement they're going to have pre-snap. It's like, dude, you have so much to deal with now in coverage. And that's not even talking like, yo, what if you have a man-to-man responsibility? I think linebacker is one of those spots that could just take a minute for a guy to kind of come along. So Jack Campbell would be the guy that I'd point to take that jump, because he should come in next year after what Barnes did. And by the way, your guy Matthew Betts, I checked out Matthew Betts. I like him. So when you have Betts,
hell yeah.
Hey, I think he's making the team, man. I gotta say that. Yo, when you got that man now in here, it's like, yo, Jack Campbell should sit into that off-ball role. You should know exactly what you want of him. He still has Alex next to him to kind of clear up any questions or anything like that. But Jack Campbell, the biggest thing for me was in coverage. I just didn't feel like he was always comfortable there. We know the athlete was there. It felt way more comfortable at Iowa than it did for the Lions, where things just kind of felt like they were going by him. I think that kind of clears up. He's still got a unique skill set for the NFL. I think Jack Campbell will be my choice for that breakout player this next season.
I love it.
I love it too. I mean, there's so many guys that are eligible to break out. I mean, we've talked about it before too. Aleem McNeil with DJ Reader alongside next to him. You guys just got done discussing Jack Campbell, who's going to have so much more room and free lanes to run through with the addition of DJ Reader as well, which also helps out Kirby Joseph, Brian Brandt. I mean, there's so many guys that are eligible for these breakout seasons, man. J-Mo's going to get a lot more looks. Well, your guy actually just signed with the Tennessee Titans. You had a feeling it was going to happen.
Tyler Boyd.
That feeling was
for cheap too, $4.5 million.
Yeah, that actually really surprised me. What was your takeaway from that?
You saw the text. I was a little disappointed. But I was disappointed by the number. I was like, bro, $4.5 million. What are you talking about here? And you already know it's like, bro, half this is gonna be incentives or something whack like that. Like, I'm like, come on, bro. Like, I don't have that money, but I'm just saying I would have put a little into the GoFundMe if that's what you're interested in. But honestly, like, that's what I'm saying. $4.5 million is easy, especially on a 1-year deal. Like, we don't even have a long-term commitment here. I'm on board with that. But that's actually a great name, Jameson Williams, because Jameson did come along. Like, if there's anybody we could really point to is like, yo, he finished strong. Brought up Jahmyr Gibbs, but Jameson is a very easy one. And he showed up in the biggest moment. Like, J-Mo was the guy that rose when we needed someone to rise. So I think for him, it was like tracking the football specifically for where his like strength is. I think that needs to clean up. He's always been working on kind of like catch those little small balls over his shoulder at training camp. So that, but overall, like, you know, me and Eazy, we've talked about this. It's like, yo, the timing within the offense picked up last season. It took a minute for it to work, but the timing started to come along. And now you're kind of in a position where it's like, you have to take that next step. We invested in you. Brad Holmes has done this really with every position we could point to. If he's put a legitimate draft pick, at some point, he's going to give you that opportunity to become that guy at that position. At some point, like, they're going to find a way for that role to open up for you. And that's what it feels like right now with Jameson is he has that opportunity. I mean, you know, I looked at, we have some nice, we have Peoples-Jones, we have Antoine Green, even Traquan Smith, maybe don't overlook him, but it's a clear role for him to just take over.
What was it about Betts that you liked, that you saw him making the team with?
The biggest thing, and I'm sure he saw this too, was the first step. I mean, this guy was electric off the line, and in CFL, you have it's a entire yard, right? That you have to be off the ball. It's not like the NFL where you can get right up on the ball, the neutral zone. It's different. So the amount of space that he has to play with off the line, yet the quickness that he's making guys every game at least one time, guys that just set a little bit slow. He's just burning right by him. I mean, I had limitations and flexibility, certain things like that, but he's smart. He brings coverage upside. So for me, I actually look at it like this. This is a guy, keep this in mind, he had a 6.79 3-cone drill, which shows off that big-time foot quickness and agility. Aiden Hutchinson posted a 6.73 when he came out, and that was like, oh my goodness. I mean, he was separating from everybody. I think that this is a player that could be very dynamic on pass downs. Put him in the interior, right? Let him shake against these interior offensive linemen. Let him kind of minimize some of the lack of flexion that's there and just show that elite get off. I mean, this guy blocked the punt just because he ran by the long snapper. with some of the quickness right off the ball. So you get him closer to the line where he doesn't have to deal with giving you an entire yard. I think you get that. And then he has the smarts. He has the intelligence. He also has the coverage upside where he could at least battle for special teams role. And maybe I could be like the backup to Derek Barnes or James Houston in that early down role. But you can always find room for pass rushers.
That's for sure.
Just one real quick one because I
got a quick one too.
Okay, cool. We'll go a little bit over then.
I'll go quick.
I have a man crush on Mekhi Wingo. I think this kid can almost hit the ground running if he's put in there in certain situations. Am I tripping on that? Have you been able to do a deep dive on him? I think this kid might end up being the steal of the draft.
Yeah, I did a semi deep dive. I'll say that. Like, to me, Mekhi Wingo, he checked he was just such a smart player. I mean, for a guy that's 284 to handle business on the interior like that, it shouldn't happen. He doesn't have big time length. He doesn't have the size. He doesn't have the height. Yet he's handling business on the inside because he played so quick to get into his spots. I just think that his football intelligence, similar to like a guy like DJ Reader, his ability to find the ball so quickly gives him upside. And he has plus shake. Like, he's shown ability to win in different ways. It's just been more in flashes than consistency. Biggest thing I'm wondering about him is he going to get more defensive end snaps like Brad Holmes brought up than playing in the interior? Because that would take away like the questions of can we put more weight on him, but it would also kind of I don't know how well that's going to work in terms of pass rush upside. Like, I think definitely on third downs you want to kick him to the inside, but no, he's smart. I think he gets impact right away.
And before we let you go, we talked about your guy Tyler Boyd signing with the Titans, and so it looks like barring some camp cut acquisition or something like that, these are the wide receivers they're going to roll with. How confident are you in Donovan Peoples-Jones to be able to step up into this offense and actually be a contributor?
Man, it's a tough one, man, because I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is just different. Like, I don't think we've had a Donovan Peoples-Jones type. I don't think we've had that since we've really seen the Lions with Ben Johnson as the offensive coordinator. I think he's going to shake it up, man. It's going to be like a different sense. I think he wins in different ways, and I'm confident that he's going to add more of like, oh, you're trying to press this man one-on-one, he's going to go win that. You're going to get more consistent wins there. I think you have that. You have the tracking ability, right? You have some long speed, but I don't think that he's similar to really any type that we've really had, maybe outside of Denzel Mims, who we just didn't even see. So I think he's completely different, which is the positive is that he came along like J-Mo did, not to the same extent, but he started, coming up with receptions as the season went along. So I have reasonable optimism that's going to take a jump, but it kind of has to, unless Allen Robinson becomes a Lion or something.
Yeah.
Dion, what do you got going on this week? Where can people catch you?
Yeah, well, the Matthew Betts video, that's the next video, man. No Dose of Dion 2.0. So
yeah.
That's the next
I
one.
want it. I want it.
That's for you. I was like, hey, coming on the show today. All right, that video's got to drop today. So yeah, that's the next one, and then just keep diving into the draft picks.
Dion, appreciate you always, man. It's always a pleasure to have your genius on here, and shout out to supporting my Matthew Betts claim.
Hey, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Hey, actually, I didn't even like him. I just said that because we're on the show. No, I appreciate y'all having me, man. Good to see you guys again.
Dion, always a pleasure, brother. We'll catch you later, man. Tell us about Swiss. Dude, Dion's the fucking goat.
Great kid. Make sure you guys protect your great kids by ensuring yourselves a Swiss. All right, it's the best in the game. Make sure your rates aren't climbing up on you. Make sure those deductibles aren't climbing up on you. Contact my guy Mark today. It's Mark at SwissINS.com. Again, that's Mark at SwissINS.com.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Dispo Dispensary is your local cannabis plug. With over 6 locations more across the great state of Michigan, there's one right in your backyard. Visit DispoShops.com to find one near you. Also, if you can't make it there, DispoShops.com has Dispo Dash will deliver it to you your front porch like you ordered it. Well, you literally would have ordered it.
You can kidnap JB. Very kidnappable.
Very kidnappable delivery guy in JB, too. So make sure you guys do that. The best curated bud, the best bud tenders, the best deals. Dispo Dispensary.
Check it out.
That was rough.
Yeah, it was.
Best, bud, bust, the bust. Make sure you smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, share the stream. A couple, like, I guess, housekeeping notes to get to because I haven't been able to do a deep dive in them yet. But did you see the Detroit Lions re-signed C.J. Moore?
Yes.
That was the safety, veteran safety, got suspended indefinitely after gambling alongside Jameson Williams, Quintez Cephas. Quintez Cephas signed somewhere too. I was kind of surprised to see. I mean, some expectation for him. Not
Quintez Cephas, yeah, he's got solid upside. He's a big body, athletic guy. He's got good hands. He just could never stay healthy. And then he started gambling. So.
I'm with you too. CJ Moore, though, for me, I think it's a way bigger re-signing than like people are giving it credit for, or at least I know people are just looking at it and like, okay, whatever. No, before Jalen Reeves-Maven, before Rodrigo, that was our special teams ace.
Yes,
that was the guy making all like the little freaky plays on those fourth downs. Like he was him. He also made fantastic plays defensively too. Our special teams unit, you got Vaikanai too.
Got Vaki, you got, like you said, Rodrigo, and now CJ Moore to go with Jalen Reeves-Maven. Like, we're going to have some dogs out there on special teams.
Cephas to the Bills. Actually, I love that even more for him.
That's a good pick, yeah.
That's a great spot to like make a name for yourself, yeah. I mean, remember, we didn't have much, obviously. Kenny Galladay too, I guess. But Cephas and Stafford had a few connections going deep. I see him and Josh Allen doing it. But no, I know special teams not the section they talk about. I don't know if it ever will be. I like it better the way it's shaped up now than previously, but we're going to have a nasty-ass special teams. Going both ways. I think we'll probably have the best in the league, if being honest with you.
Question about that is we re-sign, obviously bring C.J. Moore back. He's a weapon back there. You know about Jalen Reeves-Maven. I mean, we have all these weapons, but where's the biggest one of them all? In the kicker. No, in the kicker. Like, it seems like they put in so much emphasis on everything else on special teams besides the kicker, honestly. That's what it seems to be like.
Jake Bates out there. Just saying.
Banged another 60-year-old. I mean, a 60-yarder.
hey, yo.
You know what?
He hit another 60-yarder. Like, the guy, he's going to get a lot of fucking offers, so hopefully he decides to go with the Lions. That would be pretty nice.
We signed a defensive lineman, too, Pecco. He's the brother of the other defensive lineman, Pecco. Yeah. Listen, I honestly have to do homework on it. I don't have too much of a takeaway as of right now. Actually, Nick, do you want to pull up his stats, maybe?
Who's?
Let me
the
get the first name
tackle,
for you.
Paco.
I got to screenshot it. Hold on. I did not screenshot it. I apologize.
Yeah, I'll pull something up for you. Give me a sec.
Speaking of new additions, while he's doing that, I loved One Bar's take on Marcus Davenport.
Yeah, I mean, it's a guy who, when he's on the field, he can win the one-on-ones. That's what the Lions didn't have that last year. The Lions did not have a guy outside of Aiden Hutchinson that could win a one-on-one, and it was very evident. That's why he was getting double and triple teamed, and the guy on the back end, whether it was Charles Harris or one of the Okwaras, was just getting put on an island. So now they got a guy who can win one-on-ones with Marcus Davenport when he's healthy. We know James Houston can win one-on-ones. Matthew Betts can win one-on-ones. So there's guys now that'll be able to get to the passer if they decide to put all of their stock into stopping Aiden Hutchinson again.
Kyle Pecco is a defensive lineman that we signed. He's been in the league 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years in the league now. 2 career sacks, interior defensive lineman. He started 10 games last year for the Tennessee Titans. I'm assuming he's more of like a depth piece coming over with Terrell Williams at that point.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you don't recognize a guy's name like that, that typically is the case. I don't think it's anything huge. I can't guarantee that he makes the team, but that's Kyle Pecco for you, defensive tackle. Another big Samoan. A lot of Samoans in the Lions. I feel like we never really had any until remember the short stint we had Nadi with?
Hello, Nada.
Yeah, he announced a couple of picks at the draft.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I got not a few of them. Samoans taking over the league. Just saying. And then one other piece of housekeeping news I want to get out the way before we get into our all NFC North defensive teams. Broderick Martin. I didn't see the pictures of Chris yet, but have you seen that floating around Twitter yet?
No.
He slimmed down quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, just the optics of it. I don't know, like, the actual, like, weight of it. I'll send it if you want to, I guess, speak on that real quick. Let me get that over to Chris. And
I mean, good. He was obviously not in good enough shape to be out there and be getting meaningful snaps. So, yeah, being, 345 pounds or whatever it was when he weighed in is good to have in there, but you don't need to be that big. You can be just as effective at 320. And guys that big, guys that size, they'll stay around that weight. They'll just shed the fat and put on muscle. And I'm sure that's what what he's been doing. I would make an assumption that he's still around 320, 330 pounds, but he just put on muscle rather than having some of that belly fat. So I'm excited to see this.
Again, I don't know, because you know how sometimes photos can be. It looks.
But you remember with Jordan Davis? That's exactly what happened to Jordan Davis from year 1 to year 2.
Yeah.
He shed a lot of weight, and he came in year 2. He was a lot more effective. He was getting a lot more snaps and getting a lot more playing time, because if you're that big, you know, you gotta be something else. Just being big doesn't get you playing time in the NFL. And Jordan Davis, he came in to year 2 and he shed a lot of weight, and he was getting meaningful snaps for the Eagles last year.
Did you get it? You got the pictures?
Here we go.
Here it is. Right. So this is last year's.
So
that's last year.
Yep.
Yeah. Then this is as of recently on the Lions app.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, for sure.
I sent a new version too, Chris. A little bit more zoomed in if you like. But like, and then zoomed in one. Even look at like his lats a little bit there. It's like it's a lot skinnier. I mean, again, this could just be camera playing tricks on us, but the gut for sure isn't there. And then, like I said too, if you look at the lats there, dude's thinning out.
Yeah, I mean you get into going from where North Dakota or Northern Illinois
Kentucky?
or Western Kentucky. Yeah, that's what it was. Northern, whatever, one of those whack schools. It's you go into an NFL weight room, an NFL trainer, an NFL dietitian. Like you're gonna go from 345 with some belly fat to 320 cut, and he's looking pretty damn good right there. Pause.
The thing
no
is,
Drizzy.
there's Terrell Williams in the background too. I mean, the thing with this one as well that I like is like we've lived through. And by the way, Nick Fairley, I'd still appreciate everything he did for us. I still was a big Nick Fairley fan. But I remember like weight was a big issue for him, and as talented as he was, he could never like kind of just get over that to be on the field consistently or stay healthy enough. This kid, I mean, this is the type of guys they're drafting right away. This is the second time now. Lee McNeil, we've seen it done now. Now with Broderick Martin, like they're grabbing guys that like truly want to be better. Are going to put in that work to be better. I don't have any concerns because I can't say that he was particularly dominant or like everything I want him to be at 330. He barely hit the field, was barely active for any games. So I'm hoping that this weight loss means that he does see the field more, is able to get more work in at practice and whatever the hell else it means. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
Shout
Chris,
out to
do a
the big guy.
side by side of the two pictures.
All right.
Yeah, Anson Wells, shout out Anson. He said Gobert won Defensive Player of the Year.
Ooh.
So now he has more Defensive Player of the Years than Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace. Hall of Fame. Like I'm sure up.
Was he sick last night or was that an injury? I know we're
Oh,
getting
he
a
was a
little
kid.
bit.
He had a kid.
Okay, yep.
And his flights were getting canceled because of the weather.
If we're doing a quick bit of housekeeping here, fellas, Tigers down 2-1 to the Cleveland Guardians. Another walk-off home run for Andy Ibanez. Lead off, yeah, that'd be nice to see a walk-off here. So already down a run early in this one. Will we score more than one run, fellas?
No.
So
excuse me, sorry about that.
By the numbers, that means we have a 1 out of 10 chance of winning this game because we have 1 win and 10 losses for games we've scored under 2 runs. So.
Well, they're already down 2-1, so I'd say it's a 0% chance.
We're done.
But yeah, no. I mean, I hope they could score another fucking run, but.
What, Baez just do something?
Ibanez.
No, just Baez. Someone that will.
Oh yeah, dude, he looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, damn.
A lot of weight shed. And again, he's got another vet in there now too, in DJ Reader, who's played at the highest level of this game, and not in terms of like Pro Bowls and All Pros stuff like that, but for being like a space eater and a guy who's made it to the Super Bowl, like playing that role.
El Mago scored, Nick.
Yeah, Baez.
Oh, let me tweet Neil.
All right, he had a single to score Jake Rogers before that, and then he stole second, and then he was safe on third by a throwing error, by the catcher Bo Naylor.
El Mago back.
So it's 2-2.
El Mago back. 2-2. Tigers. Right when we were talking about it, we got 2 runs. 3 here they come.
Hey,
Let's
score
not
one.
get there yet.
We score 1 more. We're 17-7 in games we scored 3 runs. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want, we could save the All NFC North team for tomorrow and get in some Tigers talk. If you like,
We can do that. Yeah.
You guys want to do that?
Yeah.
All
Tell us about the morning show, Nick.
Yes, sir. Give me
Nick, your news is fake. It's 2-2. Said Burn.
Well, Burn, I'm on a little bit of a delay here. We can't watch it. Shout out Xfinity. Shout out Xfinity and shout out Chris Ilitch. Just kidding. Don't shout him out. Woodward Sports has a new morning show. Start your day with the Woodward Wake Up Woodward, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. live on Woodward Sports. Join Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, Broder, JB, and KG every morning as they cover all of Detroit sports. Sports talk, banter, live fan interaction, all on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Happens when you run a great business for over 50 years. You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did. Ooh, shit. By adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today and find the brand you want at lesstanford.com. What up, though, everybody? Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on woodwardsports.com. Make sure you smash the like button. We're here for the Planet Fitness Studios. Eazy, we got Nick, we got Chris, I'm Spencer. Ibanez just homered again.
Let's go!
Wow. 3-run home run. Andy Ibanez now has 2 on the day already, and it's what, like it's got to be like the fourth, only like the 4th inning. What inning is it? Shout out Xfinity,
top of
you
2.
dicks.
Top of 2. We have
top
5
of 2
runs in the top of top of 2.
Top of the 2.
Wow. Yeah, this is an auto win. We shouldn't lose this game.
Hey, shut up, Jesus.
So this is one of the reasons why AJ Hinch put Ibanez at 1 is because he rakes against lefties. So shout out Hinch. It did look funny in the lineup, but he put Ibanez first because he probably hits the best against lefties on this roster. So shout out Ibanez hitting his second bomb of the day. Let's go, fellas.
Man,
it's exciting. Sucks we can't watch, but
Maeda warmed up too. At least he's hot from the way he started the season.
I mean,
so I am a little bit nervous still. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm a little
bit nervous. Yeah. Not going to lie.
Who's on the mound? Who's on the tit?
Maeda. The worst of the 5.
I retract.
100%. Yeah.
I retract.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, you took the time. You wrote some questions pertaining to the NBA and these playoffs. Lay them on us, brother. Pause. It sounded weird.
All right. Let's go. We'll start with the best series so far, or not the best, but the most interesting because it's a former MVP going up against a future one. The Denver Nuggets find themselves down 0-2 at home. Is this Jokic to blame here? Or is it Anthony Edwards just completely taken over in the Timberwolves' dominance?
It's just the Timberwolves.
Just Timberwolves, dude. It's not even, you cannot blame Jokic at all. That's the best defensive team, or one of the best defensive teams in the league right now. Obviously, shout out to Anson Wells, who hit the chat for it and let us know that Gobert just got another defensive player of the year. But no, watching that game, they're suffocating. They're athletic. They're long. They play the perimeter really well. And they're there in droves at every level of defense, too.
Yeah, it's just the Timberwolves being locked down. Like we talked about there, the depth of perimeter defense they have is insane. And not a lot of teams are going to look good again. Like they shut down the Suns. So they're going to be able to shut down the Nuggets guards pretty easily.
Yeah, it comes down to the simple fact that this is just a bad matchup for Denver. It's not on Jokic at all, and I expect Jokic to continue to ball throughout this series. It's going to depend on, can the other guys get going? Can Jokic get these guys in good positions? Can they create for themselves? Can Jamal Murray create for himself? Can Michael Porter Jr. create for himself a little bit? Because this defense is stifling, and it's one of the best I've seen in the last decade in the NBA. So it's just all around a bad matchup, but the one advantage is that Jokic is Jokic, and he's got the ability to generate a high-quality shot every time he touches the ball. So they're not out of this series yet.
Talk about another great matchup. We got the Mavs going up against the Thunder and 2 absolute superstar guards going up against each other. We got Luka versus SGA. First of all, let's get a quick series prediction out of the fellas. And 2, if not now, win for Luka in these Mavericks.
It's now.
It is now.
It's now. And I honestly, as much as I was rooting against him in that Clippers series, just to keep my narrative
push
my narrative. I can see them winning this series purely based off experience. Luka's played in the Western Conference Finals before, as far as he's got, but he's hit the playoffs a few times. Then obviously Kyrie has won the NBA Finals before. I think he went there once more too, again with the Boston Celtics. Yeah, I think that experience will shine in this one. Although OKC is an up and comer for sure.
Give me Mavs in 6. I think what the Mavericks did, adding Gafford and PJ Washington at the deadline, was extremely important and vital for their team. You added some guys that are long, some guys that can play defense, and obviously PJ Washington not only makes terrible child support payments, but can also shoot the 3 a little bit. So I think they're going to win. I think, like I said, Mavs in 6. If you get 3 wins if the Mavericks get 3 wins, it's over, because Kyrie Irving is 13-0 in closeout games in his career. So I just think it's going to shine through. You got 2 of the most dynamic one-on-one scorers in the history of the NBA playing in Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. So I'm excited to see this. I like OKC. I like how they're built, but like Eazy said, there's depth that they can rival the depth of OKC with the Mavericks, with the team they have, and they have the old heads and the experience to go after them.
I like Lively a lot for them too, in terms of like the way they play, a guy to keep grabbing like extra boards for them, extra opportunities to score. And then the other thing I was gonna say too is, I think Chris and I have had this conversation in the show specifically. OKC's up and coming for sure, but it feels like every like great young team like that needs that first heartbreak before they start doing things like going to the Western Conference Finals. And I just think this is going to be that for the OKC.
And shout out to Dante151 in the Woodward Sports chat. The Red Wings had the 15th pick in the draft this year.
Nice.
And to agree with everything you guys said, plus the synergy between Kyrie and Luka is working very well for them. And on top of that, you have the big bodies of Lively and Gafford that will punish Chet Holmgren, I think, and make it a hard series for him. Just in certain games, he could get in foul trouble. If he gets in foul trouble, things get really dicey really fast for OKC. They have the protocols, they have the tools to stop a guy like Luka or contain a guy like Luka, but the difference in this series is they don't have anybody that can guard the shifty players like Kyrie. So I think that's the big X factor. And the fact that Luka shot 20-something% from 3 in the last series, I just don't see him doing that 2 series in a row. I think he was in a shooting slump. I don't necessarily think it was because of good defense by the Clippers. I think it was just Luka in a shooting slump, and I'm predicting Luka to have a strong bounce back series this series. So I'm going with the Mavs, and I may even go 5, and that's not to discredit how good OKC is. That's because of how good Dallas is. Dallas got back past the Clippers, who are a good team.
Very good.
With a horrible Luka series, efficient wise.
Talk about a high upside scorer right now. Jalen Brunson, 4 straight with 40 points. Are the Knicks officially back with Jalen Brunson? And should not just Indiana, but be Boston possibly be concerned with them as well moving forward?
Yes, the Knicks are fucking back. Yes, Jalen Brunson is leading the Knicks back. Yes, Boston should be scared. We're going to get past Indiana easy. And you look at Boston, you were having trouble with the Heat with Jimmy Butler on 1 foot, Tyler Hero giving you guys buckets. Just wait for Jalen Brunson to get in there. Boston should be very scared. Knicks are making the finals.
Ooh. I fucking hate New York teams. I am so grossed out that you're a fan of the Knicks.
Look.
For Carmelo, too. They didn't do dick.
All right, well, Eazy, if you're not going to provide any analysis here, there's a big difference in Tengus Pengus not playing. I think that really helps. I think that really helps because you look at this team. This team is such a feisty team, this New York team, on the offensive glass. And if they don't have a guy like Tengus Pengus, like, you're counting on Al Horford and Tatum, and the Celtics have size. Holiday's a good rebounding guard, but ultimately the way New York has controlled the glass in all of the playoffs so far, and if Josh Hart continues to shoot 43% from 3, that's a guy who shot 30%. Like, we are seeing a team that is firing on all cylinders. A big part of that is Jalen Brunson.
Josh Hart does everything for this team. Josh Hart does everything for this team. He's the secondary scorer. He rebounds the ball extremely well, and he can dish the rock. You've got guys like Hartenstein stepping up. Mitchell Robinson not even playing that big of a factor, but him getting some rest now going in. Like, I'm not scared of no fucking Pengus. Give me Hartenstein.
I never heard no Latvia.
Ain't never heard of no Latavia.
All right, fellas. One move that one of these teams made was kind of big, and it was Columbus at the deadline. Columbus got 1?
4.
It was 3 first-round picks for Pascal Siakam to pair with Halliburton, And obviously they lose game 1 there. Do you guys think 3 first-round picks is going to end up looking too steep for a guy like Pascal Siakam that you pair with Halliburton if they get bounced in this round, specifically early?
Initially, yes, I did. I did think that was a lot, but this Indiana Pacers team is pretty good. They're going to be drafting well past the lottery. I mean, what years were these 3 first-round picks? Do we know?
This year first, it was a pick swap, and then I think 2027 top 4 protected or something like that.
Yeah, like that's fair value in my opinion for what he brings in.
That's the price of doing business in the NBA. If you want a guy who's on the level of Pascal Siakam, that's what you're going to have to give up. We saw like 4 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert. So, it's not a crazy fit for me. Obviously, they still need to play defense if they want to do anything. Like, they have a kind of a gimmicky offense to where they're going to go. It's kind of like the Mike D'Antoni Suns, where it's just shoot as soon as you get the ball. So they're going to run up the points a lot, but they can't stop anybody. So it's not a great fit for me. They definitely need to iron some things out, but that's a good core to build around with Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, that's the key, is that this is a young team that you project a lot of these guys to get better. Well, Pascal is probably around his peak, and look, he had some good games in that Milwaukee series. Like, he was awesome at times for the Indiana Pacers. So I think it's a fair price. You know, I think this is a team that's on the way up and can be pretty damn good.
And fellas, the sleeping giant in the East, it's not really so low key. The Celtics are plus 100, the absolute favorite to win it all. Is this the year that Jason Tatum finally gets over the hump? And is there any way in hell that Cleveland can win this series?
No, there is no way in hell Cleveland can win this series, and no, this is not the year for the Celtics. The Celtics are never going to win a championship with the roster they have constructed.
Damn.
It just doesn't work. They always choke. Like Eazy said, Tatum has had that chance consistently over and over and over to be that guy to take the throne. Has never done it. I know this team on paper is better than what they were last year, but I like last year's Celtics roster better than this one. No, they're not going to win the championship. I don't know if they win the East, but they're going to beat the Cavs. The Cavs will take a game from them, but they're going to beat the Cavs.
Yeah, I think the key is Donovan Mitchell is going to be electric in that series. But you saw in that Orlando series, like, he scored 22 points, all of their points in the fourth quarter, and they still lost. This is a team that is struggling outside of Donovan Mitchell, and I think that Boston just has too much other creation. Well, they lack that dog, that killer mentality, that thing that you need to get over the hump and win the championship. They have what they need to get past this series. Absolutely. It would be a shocker if Cleveland got more than one game.
Hell yeah, fellas. Great insight there. And that breaking down the NBA with your boy in the sound booth. And
shout out
we're
Nick.
going to merch.
Let me tell you where to get the latest merch. If you're tired of the same old Detroit sports merch, head on over to woodwardsports.com. Click that shop tab today and get yourself some brand new merch. Hoodies, tees, hats, all that, guaranteed to turn heads. Head on over to woodwardsports.com. Click that shop tab today. Get yourself some brand new merch.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Feel alive during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest New Year's sales event ever. Get the best prices on our huge selection of award-winning Chevrolets. Like this 2024 Equinox for $188 per month. Or this 2024 Silverado for $268 per month. It's the New Year's sales event going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Glorious is back with a new ice water bubble hash pre-roll, now with diamonds, constantly pushing to create the best cannabis experience. The perfect boost comes from the added touch of pure THC diamond dust, allowing flowers with only the highest terps to make the best even better. So head on over to gloriouscannabis.com and get them today.
I just got some, shout out to Antoine who just tagged me in something. I feel like I should save it for tomorrow. It's also... It's so dry right now that I probably have to say this for tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it definitely caught me by surprise. Definitely was just jaw dropping. I had to look at this thing over and over again to figure it out. But for the time being, 5 minutes left of the show, guys. Get your mailbag questions in. Next, right on cue. Chef Talks.
5-3.
Mailbag. Have you ever gotten crunk before? And ask Nick if he knows what it means.
Crunk?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I've just heard the slang, like, get crunk. Is there an Australian twist to this?
Australian twist? Crunk is like,
Down
it's
under.
like Lil Jon arrow.
What?
It's just getting lit, really.
Yeah. Getting
That's
crunk? Yeah, I've been crunk a couple times, I think. Hopefully I'm not saying something horrible here.
I want to bring this up. I want to save it for top.
So save it.
Mailbag.
Yeah, save it. 5-3. Guardians
sorry.
scored
All
another one. Bottom of 2.
What's more likely, Spinny? Gibbs more touchdowns or Montgomery more touchdowns?
Gibbs.
What's more likely? Laporta touchdowns or J-Mo touchdowns?
Laporta.
Laporta? Nick?
Yeah, this was a tough one, but I think it's going to be Laporta.
I'll include rushing if you want.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was figuring it in, but I think Laporta will have 10 plus again, and I think J-Mo will be kind of close to right around there, but I think Laporta's going to have more.
Definitely agree with Nick there.
Yeah. We have Gibbs and Monty.
Monty, because I think we are just so elite down at the goal line where we're just going to be able to bull rush for a bunch of touchdowns, and we seem to like to give Monty the ball there.
Kirby. What's more likely, Kirby Pro Bowl or Houston 10 sacks?
Kirby Pro Bowl.
I did
know what you're
Kirby.
saying.
Yeah, I did Kirby.
Oh, really?
I did Kirby. I know I did the Houston on my predicted 10 sacks, but I think Kirby's going to absolutely explode. I thought Spenny hit the nail on the head earlier, talking about this defensive line improvement and how the ball hawks in the back are going to be able to succeed like extremely well. And we've seen Kirby do it 2 years in a row. He's going to take that third year leap, I think.
Mailbag, Eazy. Do you think the NFC is going to be more competitive this year? Yes, I do. I think the Rams plan on being better. I would say just year 2 for a lot of those rookies that stepped up, although they're missing Aaron Donald. Obviously, the Eagles, I think, will be a lot better than they were last year, at least coaching-wise. And then Caleb Williams is a threat now. The Packers were a threat now. I feel like the Cowboys took a step back, but had a good draft.
I think they just
stayed the same.
treaded water, yeah.
Yeah, they kind of just replaced everything they lost, really.
They got
go
the
ahead.
biggest choke aura in the NFL, so you got nothing to worry about with them.
Yeah, I'm not tripping with the Cowboys at all, ever.
Eagles are going to be better.
This last one,
yeah,
might hurt to say, but what's more likely? Pistons turning around or Torkelson turning around?
Torkelson.
By a mile.
Yeah.
By a mile.
We've-
Torkelson doesn't have a fucking piece of shit owner.
We've seen it with Torque last year. We've never seen it with the Pistons in this ownership. It's disgusting what's going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to hit a baseball than it is to turn around a dysfunctional franchise that has malfeasance on every single level.
It's statistically the hardest thing to do in sports to hit a baseball.
Yeah, but I mean, when your malfunction goes every single level of the organization, pretty much, I think that makes it harder to turn around. But not downplaying baseball, but just kind of more so.
It's now 5-5, by the way.
Shout out Maeda. Can we just fucking trade him for a bat, please?
You can't trade him. Bring up Manning. Cut him. Cut ties. Bad move.
Trade him for a bat.
Manning's been really solid when he's been up this year.
Yeah,
That's what I was going to ask you guys.
good.
I wanted to ask that to Chris, but I don't know if it was stupid to ask because Maeda was like playing well.
2-run homer. Tigers losing 7-5. Says Kalamazoo.
Oh my, bat home. I don't know about that.
No, Kalamazoo, he's a real one. He's the one who sent the login, which I got to share with you now too, since you don't have Comcast no more. So shout out to Kalamazoo. Yeah, bro. Maeda fucking just get rid of him, please.
One of the things I did want to bring up today is how can we trade like a prospect in our system, an arm that obviously is an elite. I kind of wanted to bring it up. Get ready for tomorrow. We're breaking shit down about these Tigers and how we can try to fix them. I'm
down, man.
It's disgusting what's going on right now.
I mean, can you not get an arm from Maeda?
No, you can't get anything.
No, I'm sorry, bat.
A bat?
No.
No.
What about a little bat?
No.
Little what?
2 of them.
No.
Ice cold.
A 1-inch
Extra
pincher?
froth.
You can't get a fucking broken washing machine from Maeda. But that'll do it for us today. Appreciate y'all tapping into the Woodward Heavyweights live on woodwardsports.com. Make sure you smash that like button. Maeda's trash for Eazy. For Nick, for Jesus, for Chris, I'm Spencer. We're the Heavyweights. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.